Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The day has finally arrived. Free agency, a.k.a. legal tampering, gets underway. What will the Jets do? They've already made a significant re-signing. We'll give you the latest on that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go on a Monday. It is the 10th of March. It is the start of NFL legal tampering, a.k.a. the start of free agency. The deals cannot be official until later this week, but in about 15 minutes, we will start to get reports of some notable signings that are happening around the NFL, including some potential signings made by first-year general manager Darren Muji of the New York Jets. And before we talk about what the Jets will do in free agency, let's break down what they did last night. I couldn't go live because I was the best man at a wedding on Long Island. I just got back to my apartment in time to do the first of what will be a lot of shows this week, breaking down what the Jets do. But we got some good news last night. I did squeeze in a quick 1-minute reaction video on the channel. If you saw it, full tuxedo and all. But the Jets have re-signed Jamie and Sherwood. I'll start there before we talk about the latest on Fields and some of the other quarterback reports that could impact what the Jets do at quarterback. Bringing back Jamie and Sherwood, to me, an absolute no-brainer by the Jets. He's a really good player. He's only 25. He was voted team MVP by his teammates. This is a guy you want to keep. I don't think it's that complicated. They paid him around what market value is for his position. 3 years, $45 million. Really, if you look at the details of the contract, it's essentially a 2-year deal, a 2-year commitment to a guy who I still think has a lot of untapped potential. He's already a very good player, and he's only getting better. And this is the guy that took advantage of his opportunity, right? He wasn't expected to play a ton this year. Then C.J. Mosley got hurt in week 2, and that changed the entire trajectory of Jamie and Sherwood as a player. He got a chance to play. He made the most of his opportunity. And look, the one thing you could give Robert Saleh and this previous coaching staff credit is they were very good at developing defensive players. Sherwood is a great example of that. Former safety, converted to linebacker. They coached him up. Now he's getting paid like one of the top guys in the league, and it's deserved. We don't know the exact specifics of what Steve Wilks and Aaron Glenn want to do defensively from a scheme standpoint, but we do know this. Jamie Sherwood is an athletic, really talented, smart linebacker. Those are the guys you want to keep. So I think, guaranteeing him $30 million, giving him a $45 million contract, to me, it's a really good move. By the way, I realized on the graphic I had 3 years and $45. That'd be a bargain for the Jets if they got him to that. It's 3 years at $45 million. First 2 years, pretty much guaranteed, and it's around $30 million in guarantees. So, look, he's a really good player. You want to keep him? It doesn't hamstring you from other moves. You look at some of the other linebacker deals that were out there that were being signed, whether it be Barnes or Bolton, who goes back to the Chiefs. He could have been a Jets target. To me, this is a smart signing. Now, as far as other Jets free agents, to me, the next guy you want to keep is Morgan Moses. And we'll find out if that's something that happens this week, or does that maybe take some time? He's an older player. Maybe he's going to evaluate his options. Does he take a little less money to go to a team that's closer to winning than the Jets are? Would he like to stay and not have to move his family again? Like, we don't know what Morgan Moses is thinking, but we know the Jets and Morgan Moses have a mutual interest in getting a deal done. That was the same thing that was reported about Jamie and Sherwood. So we'll see if they can work something out. But that to me is the thing to watch this week as far as, internal free agents for the Jets. They got Sherwood back. He's arguably, a top 5 player in this free agent class if you hit the open market. Now, can they bring back Morgan Moses? Have some continuity up front on the line, and then it allows you to not feel like you need to go and just take a lineman early in the draft because you don't have a right tackle. You could truly go best player available at pick number 7. You could take an offensive lineman there, but you don't have to. So I'd like to bring Morgan Moses back. It won't cost you an arm and a leg. Good leader, plays through everything. See if they could bring him back. As far as other Jet free agents go, I don't think DJ Reed's coming back. I don't think Tyler Conklin's coming back. So the Jets are going to have to address their secondary, specifically at safety, which right now, the only safety that the Jets have under contract is a guy that they called essentially off the practice squad at the end of the season. So you look at where the Jets are, they're going to need to be aggressive in safety or at the safety spot. They're going to need to be aggressive up front on the defensive line because, Jarius Monroe is the only true safety they have on the roster right now. Tony Adams, there's some interest in keeping him. He's a restricted free agent. We'll see if they tender him a contract. But Chuck Clark, free agent. Jalen Mills, free agent. We know there's some interest in keeping Isaiah Oliver, who's kind of like a hybrid safety and a hybrid corner. Ashton Davis is a free agent. Brandon Eccles, who's a corner, is a free agent. Kendall Sheffield's a free agent. So you really have Sauce and Michael Carter as your 2 cornerstones in the secondary right now. And then we'll see what they do as free agency gets underway here. Now, let's talk about the quarterback situation. All signs point to Justin Fields being the Jets' number 1 target among free agent quarterbacks. That, to me, is a logical approach by the Jets. Justin Fields is young. He has a lot of talent. There's an upside there, like what we saw Sam Darnold do, like what we saw Baker Mayfield do. To a lesser extent, it took a lot longer, but what we saw Geno Smith do years later. So if you could sign Justin Fields and have him compete with Tyrod, there's at least a real plan there, and that doesn't, preclude you from still, taking a quarterback in the first round if there's someone you like, or trading up into the first round to get someone, or taking someone on day 2. You still have all those options available, and at least you give this fan base some hope of some upside. Do I think Justin Fields is a great quarterback? I don't, but I'd be silly if I said I thought Sam Darnold was going to win 14 games this year. And really, you look at some of the reports coming out today, and Aaron Rodgers is directly impacting the Jets' plans again here. Schefter reporting that the Steelers have emerged as an option for Rodgers. So if he goes there, Fields is obviously not going to be back. And the question with Pittsburgh is this: if they were going to keep Justin Fields, wouldn't they have signed him already? It's why I think the Jets are going to end up with Justin Fields, because it just feels like there's so much smoke there where the Jets have made him their number 1 target. They'll pay him and essentially say, hey, we're going to give you a clear path to be the starter if you beat out Tyrod Taylor. Whereas with the Steelers, Fields is probably going to constantly be looking over his shoulder, knowing that last year they were 4-2 and Tomlin still benched him. So does he trust the Steelers to let him truly be the starter for a full season through ups and potentially some downs? But if Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh, I'll get out ahead of it right now. Get ready for Jets Steelers on Monday Night Football, Week 1. Steelers coming to MetLife. And if you're a cynical Jet fan, I think we all know how that one ends. So get ready for that if Rodgers ends up going to Pittsburgh, which I felt like from the beginning made the most sense for both sides. We know Rodgers and Devontae won't be playing together once more, because last night at the wedding, I saw the news that Devontae signed a 2-year deal to go to the Rams. So we probably will not see Rodgers and Devontae play together anymore. But good for Devontae. He's still a really good player. He got paid well, over $20 million a year. Made sense. So he goes there. You had the DK Metcalf trade that happened last night. I'm just glad he didn't go to New England because they were rumored to be in on Metcalf. But you put Rodgers with Pittsburgh and that defense and Tomlin and Metcalf now with Pickens and Freiermuth, Najee Harris. That's a good football team that has a chance to be very good in the AFC. We'll see. We know every year Tomlin at least gives you 9 or 10 wins. So I'm fascinated to see if that's ultimately where Rodgers ends up. And if that happens, that makes Fields available for the Jets to sign. And that, to me, based on everything we're hearing, is their approach in free agency right now. They want Justin Fields. The problem is if they don't land Fields, the other options stink. You know, if this team signs Marcus Mariota or they sign Carson Wentz, I don't know how anyone's going to be sitting here feeling great about this team's chances this year. I mean, that's the bottom line. But at least with Fields, there's a path to him continuing to improve as a player and really having a smart coaching staff, if we want to give the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise to this new staff. Having a real offensive approach where you could build a really innovative RPO-style offense around Justin Fields and Breece Hall. And, you know, maybe you take Warren, the tight end, as an option, as a blocker and a playmaker over the middle at pick 7. Like, there's a path to, you know, having a solid offense maybe for once as Jet fans. So Fields is not my favorite quarterback ever. You know, I didn't think much of him in Chicago. I thought he was okay this year with Pittsburgh, but at least you could sell yourself on some upside there. Maybe the Jets could finally be a team that actually could be a developer of a quarterback. Wouldn't that be nice? So that's where we're at here as legal tampering will get underway as I'm sitting here live on a Monday in about 7 minutes. So what's going to happen today on the channel, if the Jets sign someone major like Justin Fields, wherever we're at with the show, I'm going to end it and we're going to start a specific Fields to the Jets type of stream. So bear with me with a lot of the live streams this week. It's going to be very contingent on what Darren Muji, Aaron Glenn, and company ultimately decide to do. Now, some other names I would like the New York Jets to pursue. Javon Holland would be my number one target at the safety spot. He's 25. Take him away from a division rival. You know, this is a guy that, to me, is similar to Sherwood, still getting better as a player. You wouldn't be paying for what he was. You'd be paying for what he still could be. So I'd love to see that be a move that the Jets could make. Justin Reed is another one at the safety spot that I would be intrigued by. Carlton Davis, if they're going to spend big on a corner, he's got the Aaron Glenn ties. That would be fascinating. This team also needs to come away with at least 2 free agent wide receivers at some point here. Now, do I think they're going to spend big money on Stephon Diggs or someone of that ilk? No. But, you know, can they come away with a guy like Darius Slayton who's young and, you know, has averaged over 15 yards per catch in his career? There's upside there. He's played with bad quarterbacks and has been decent at times. Tim Patrick, number 3 wide receiver, like not great, but not terrible. So we'll see. Now, full disclosure for those of you tuning in live right now, Twitter has been down all morning, or X. So it has been tough to get updates on what exactly is happening here. So unless Elon fixes Twitter very quickly, we might be a little delayed on getting some information here. Because we've had issues with Twitter all morning, which is just a brutal day for this to happen when everyone is on Twitter waiting for updates on NFL free agency. So we'll do our best with what we have. And on that note, we kind of set the scene here with free agency getting underway in about 5 minutes. So if you're watching live right now, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are off to a record-setting month of March. And I want to say thank you to all the Asmaniacs for that. We got an awesome raffle we'll do at the end of this week. It's Sack Exchange themed all week long on the show. We're giving away a signed Sack Exchange jersey. That's right. Each member of the legendary New York Sack Exchange signed this jersey you see on the screen. That's prize 1. Prize 2, how about a signed helmet by each member of the New York Sack Exchange? So if you want to support the channel and get a chance to win either of these items, gift a channel membership and we'll enter you in our next raffle. So with that said, comments, questions, super chats, we'll cut the line. And don't think I forgot. Asmaniac Madness continues today, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, we got quite the matchup. Neal versus Indy Jets in the Hood region. The 3 versus 14. Neal and his cigars. Indy Jets and his wild takes. That's today's matchup in Asmaniac Madness. So let's get to your calls. We'll react to anything the Jets do in real time. And I also want to say that voting in Asmaniac Madness is about to get underway.
Who's gonna be the best of the bunch? ASMANIAC Madness. You get to pick the ones that make the show rock. Who's the king? Average you.
Oh, yeah, here we go. I am uploading your voting options in the poll right now. If you're new to the show, maybe you're just checking in because it's free agency time. ASMANIAC Madness is simple. You vote for which ASMANIAC you want to advance, and whoever has more votes at the end of the stream will advance to the next round in the greatest tournament in all of sports. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to share that voting is officially open. Vote in the YouTube poll that you will see right here, right now. Just to give everyone a little update on the state of the bracket, we're making our way through the Hood region today. Leany defeated Luppy in the show I did on Saturday. Neal versus Indy Jets right now. Purple Belt Mike versus Nick T later today, or maybe later this hour. Field signs at 12:01, and I got to end this stream. So it could get crazy this week with the tournament. So vote, 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 because you never know when a show might end to react to some breaking news. So good luck to Indy and Neal. They are the 3 versus 4 matchup going on right now. We're going to get to your calls coming up. But first, this afternoon, you heard me just allude to it, 2 matchups a day this afternoon on the show, or maybe sooner. We have a matchup featuring the 7-seed Purple Belt Mike versus Nick T, the 10-seed. We'll take a quick break. This message is brought to you by the Purple Belt Mike campaign.
What's going on, Asmaniacs? Today, I want you to vote for me. Not because Nick T is a bad guy or has bad takes, but who the is that guy? Does he even call in once a week? Does he have a single memorable call? I call in every single week. I support the show. I donate memberships. I do super chats. I jumped into a green algae pool. I helped B-Mac from getting robbed from a stripper. I go to meetups. I rumble beast. And I'm a purple belt jiu-jitsu. Vote for me and not Nick T.
Ladies and gentlemen, Purple Belt Mike. Vote, vote, vote for your chance to be eligible. By the way, shout out to everyone on Patreon. If you join the Patreon for the year, you get 10 raffle entries and you save 15%. Huge shout out to Matthew Gordon and Hollywood 50, our 2 most recent Patreon subscribers. Let's get to some calls here as free agency is getting underway shortly. Evan is first up today. What's up, Evan?
Jake, I'm doing good, man. It kind of feels like a Christmas morning a little bit. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like exciting to see things moving, especially since we've never really had like a new GM and head coach at the same time, or at least for a while we haven't had it. So it's like I don't even know what to expect. I don't know what their approach is going to be. It's going to be interesting. My question to you is, how much does Fields move the needle for you? I'm sure you've answered that before, but like, I'm just excited, frankly, from like a pure entertainment standpoint. Like, I know this sounds crazy, but it's like we watch sports for the fun of it, right? Like, finally we'll have, I'm sure there'll be weeks where we're frustrated with Fields who might throw bad picks or not look amazing, but like, it'll be so fun to watch a guy rip off like a 50-yard run, or just like, I don't know, for once have an offense that's like, or have a quarterback that's like exciting to root for, like not some older guy or some guy. Like, you ever watch Zach Wilson? Like, even the years where we won 7 games, like, you watch any of those wins, they're the most boring wins ever. Like, I've tried to rewatch some of those games. It's like, it's impossible. So I'm kind of excited just from that standpoint, but I'd like to get your thoughts.
Look, there's hope is the best way I would describe it. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Fields guy. I don't think he is the answer long term. Like, I don't know if his throwing ability will ever improve enough where he could be a legitimate franchise quarterback. That said, he's exciting because of his athletic ability. Like, the Jets have not had a quarterback that athletic at the position since, like, who? So from that standpoint, there's some intrigue. If Tanner Engstrand's a really good offensive mind and he could design an offense that features RPOs with him and Brees and Braylon Allen and Isaiah, like, there's some talent there to maybe be an effective offense from that standpoint as well. So I'm hopeful. I want Fields over Kirk Cousins. I want Fields over Carson Wentz. And then you know what? Like, if it doesn't work out, all right, it doesn't work out, but at least we're like not wasting a year with an older quarterback that has no hope. It's at least a 25-year-old that has first-round pedigree that has flashed in the league before.
Yeah, I agree. And related to that, are there any of these let's call it quarterback 3 through 6 or 7 guys that are being talked about, Milrow or whoever, Howard? Are any of these guys impress you at all, or are you kind of like, I'm in the camp of any quarterback not drafted in the first round feels like a wasted pick to me, especially with a team that has so many needs. But any of those guys impress you, or would you be disappointed if we grabbed any of those guys with like our 3rd round pick?
I like Kyle McCord. Will Howard intrigues me. I like Jackson Dart. I don't like him enough to take him in the 1st round, but if he was there in the 2nd round, I'm more open to it. I'm honestly, you want to know why I'm more open to Dart in round 2? Because the Jets now are picking 20 spots higher in round 3. So it's like you still could get a pretty good player at pick 72. There's a big difference in 93 and 72 where the Jets are. So look, if they like one of these guys, then you take them. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't prohibit you from taking your swing again next year in round 1. So look, I think if you sign Fields, you have Tyrod, and you end up with one of these developmental guys, that's probably best case scenario of the realistic options for the Jets this offseason.
Oh yeah. Well, go Jets, go Muji, go Glenn. I mean, it's a new era. Let's get off on the right foot, man. Go Jets.
Appreciate it, Evan. I'm seeing some reports here that Hassan Reddick is going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's see. Hassan Reddick to Tampa Bay. So people are using Blue Sky, which is like an alternative to Twitter right now to report news. So I don't have that app, but I have my buddy, shout out to Matt Siegel, texting me some stuff. So Hassan Reddick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Also, Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic reporting Fields remains the Jets' top quarterback target. He thinks they're going to land him. He believes Carson Wentz and Kirk Cousins are the other 2 fallbacks. Just shoot me if that happens. So we'll see. I guess Schefter's posting on Instagram. Hey, Twitter going down today. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? Big fella with a super chat. He starts us off. Have we cut Clemens yet? You have not. Doug with a super chat here. THB 100. I don't know what that means. But Doug, thank you. This might be 100 something, but I don't think it's 100 US. Jake, why did we trade up so high for Sanchez but committed to a ground and pound offense instead of prolific passing offense? Explain like I'm 5. Well, because if you watched that 09 season, Doug, maybe you didn't, maybe you're too young, and that's why you're asking the question. Mark Sanchez wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. He threw like 12 touchdowns and had over 20 picks as a rookie. Ground and pound was the only way the Jets could basically win. They had a great defense, and they were asking Mark Sanchez to not lose the game. Hey, we're going to run the ball. You don't turn it over. And we'll score enough and play well enough defense to win games. And that's what they did. And to credit Sanchez, come playoff time, he stepped it up and played a lot better as a passer. Especially in that second year. His first year, he was a rookie. You give him a break. But that's why. Yeah, their plan was to develop Mark, and he'd get better year over year. But it's a different world now. The NFL is different now. I don't think you could just win solely with ground and pound. So if the Jets sign Fields, it can't just be, oh, we're going to basically do what Rex did for those years with Fields. Fields is going to have to improve as a passer. And to be fair to him, his completion percentage has gone up year over year, but they're not asking him to do a lot. Here are the terms on Hassan Reddick. You know, I can't even give you the terms on Hassan Reddick. I got the alert from Rappaport, and now Twitter's not even loading for me. Someone tell me what the contract was for Reddick. I think I saw 12 years or 12 million. 1 year, 14 million. What an overpay. That's a bad signing. I don't care. Hassan Reddick might be shot. Apparently that money was Thai money. Dude just gave me $2.95. All right, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Reminder to those of you just tuning in, we added a new prize on Saturday to our Sack Exchange themed raffle this week. Signed helmet by each member of the Sack Exchange to go with our signed jersey by each member of the New York Sack Exchange here. 1 year deal, 14 million, 12 million guaranteed. Give credit to Reddick's agent, Joe Rosenhaus, for that one. Jeez. I mean, are you kidding me? The Turtle writes in, Jake, thoughts on our fan base's weird obsession with Tim Patrick? Thoughts on, I mean, I don't think the fan base is obsessed with him, Turtle. I think he's a logical depth wide receiver they need to add. Jaden says, bring back Moses, yay or nay. I'd bring him back in a second. Now, I want to do what good teams do, though. I want to bring Morgan Moses back with the idea of I'm still drafting somebody in the second round, third round, fourth round, whatever, that could eventually take Morgan Moses' job in a year. Like, you look what the Ravens did, right? How is it that they let John Simpson go and Morgan Moses, who both played well as Jets, especially Simpson, and they're just as good offensively? Well, because they had guys in the pipeline that were plugged in. And I get it. They have Lamar Jackson too, but still, like, that's what the good teams do. They don't have first-round picks across the board on the O-line. You got to draft and develop. Look at the Packers O-line. Look at the Eagles O-line. It's not made of just only first-round picks. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. There's over 700 of you in here live, almost 800 of you live right now. Make sure you vote in today's ASMANIAC Madness matchup featuring Neal and Indy Jets. It's a battle unlike any other, baby. Neal is up 72-28 with over 300 votes that have been cast. You could tell voting is going to be explosive over the next few shows because we got a lot of casuals who are back interested in what the Jets might do this week. Hopefully they do smart things. Now, what they really need to do is they need to find, speaking of the devil, more John Simpson-like signings in free agency. Guys that we look at and go, who? And then they end up being really good value signings. That's really the key here. You can't build your team only in free agency, but you could supplement it. I love when every GM's like, they want to build through the draft. They all say that. And then, like, the beat reporters, like, regurgitate that. Well, their strategy is they want to build through the draft. Every GM wants to build through the draft. Not every GM can because they suck at drafting. So you got to do both. You got to be good at drafting, and you got to be smart at how you spend your money in free agency. And while I don't think the Jets are going to spend crazy, they're going to spend money. They have too many holes on the team to not spend money. Let's call it for what it is. Let's do a little breakdown on the state of the roster entering free agency, which, by the way, as of 9 minutes ago, is officially live. Real quick, breaking news here. Chris Godwin back to the Bucs. 3 years, $66 million. Chance to make $24 million, according to Rap Sheet. $44 million guaranteed. Not that I thought Godwin would ever be a Jet target, but once Devontae signed with the Rams, he was probably the best wide receiver remaining on the market. So I'll do my best if you're watching this live to keep you updated here. Twitter is still down, which is a pain in the ass, but Blue Sky is up. So we got that going right now. Taps any button says, I want Milton Williams and Holland. We can add both. They can add both. Big fella, did you see the J.C. Horn contract? Crazy. The Jets should think long and hard about extending Sauce now. Because Derek Stingley is going to break the market if they allow Houston to sign him first. You might as well just get ahead on Sauce. Sauce is better than J.C. Horn. So for those of you saying, oh, you can't pay Sauce, look what he did this past year. He still was one of the better corners in the league despite a down year for him. And he wants to be here. He's loyal to the team. I would pay Sauce now and just get ahead of it. It's only going to cost more if they wait. It's an easier contract to do than Garrett Wilson, who I think they also should look to extend. And I think they're going to end up extending both. I just don't know the timeline. But I think it's a good sign that they extended Jamie and Sherwood. Because you're preaching what you actually said at that press conference I attended at the Combine a week and a half ago. They said, quote, they want to keep good young players as Jets. Well, Jamie Sherwood's 25. He's a good young player. So I would get ahead of this and sign both. All right. Plus, does anyone really think Sauce Gardner's not going to be very good again next year? Aaron Glenn's his coach now. So I got a lot of faith in that. Armani AD with our first entry into the raffle today. $20 super chats get you 5 entries. Thank you, Armani.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
What's going on, Jake? Been watching since 2021, the Houston years. You've done an amazing job with the show. Thank you, Armani. For the past 2 years, we have watched an offense built for 05. I won't miss watching a geriatric/archaic offense. Well, that's why you have to have some hope that what we're seeing from Engstrand is going to be a modernized offense. I thought it was interesting thinking back to the press conference last week or a week and a half ago at the Combine. Aaron Glenn was asked about Tanner Engstrand, and he went out of his way to say, everyone wants to say Ben Johnson's great. Ben Johnson is the ultimate offensive genius. But he went out of his way to say a lot of what they were doing in Detroit, Tanner Engstrand had a lot to do with it. Now, time will tell if that's true, right? Actions speak louder than words. But if you believe in Aaron Glenn, and I know a lot of people in this fan base do, then you have to have some faith in his hires with the coaching staff. Even if I don't love the fact that it's first-time head coach, first-time GM, with a first-time offensive coordinator, it doesn't mean it couldn't work. I just feel like there's a big risk there. But you know what? The decision was made. Let's hope they're smart. Let's hope they got it right. Ralphie checks in. What's up, Ralphie? Jedrick Wills, offensive lineman, Browns. Nice signing for right tackle. He was a bust at left tackle, but could be this year's Becton. I did the Jets roundtable with Richie, Matt, and Ryan the other day. And I know that Ryan has mentioned Jedrick Wills as an option. I like that. Once again, terms on Chris Godwin's deal. 3 years, $66 million, $44 million guaranteed. The Jets were never going to be in on Godwin. So I'll keep you guys updated in real time. Twitter might be back up. I'm starting to get some notifications here, but it's not loading consistently for me. So just a poor timing for this. Poor timing for this indeed. Man. I'm keeping up on everything. All right, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Let's get to more of your calls here on the show. Let's say hello for the first time in a couple days to one of the more polarizing figures in this show's recent history, Rob, the Jet fan from Glenhead. Hello, Rob.
Hey, Jake. How was the wedding?
The wedding was a lot of fun, Rob. My voice is feeling it, though. I'll tell you that much.
You were in Bethpage, right? Can you say where you were now? What place you went to?
I was at the Heritage Club, which is Bethpage Black, basically.
Oh, okay. Nice place?
Really nice place, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good, buddy. Yeah, I'm just calling. I know a lot of controversy of what happened with the ASMANIAC tournament and stuff. I want to apologize on my end. I'm not going to say that it was totally all my fault. I was, Chief fan kind of cursed me out and called me the C word. So, of course, I'm going to retaliate and, yell back at him, obviously, but, I guess it's not the right thing to do. This should be a thing for fun. And then the thing with Bobby was, because I like Bobby a lot and I always have, I just felt a little kind of like betrayed that he went for weed. And I kind of said traitor. I get it. But when he came on, he called me an a-hole and he started cursing at me, F you and stuff. Of course, I'm going to shout back and say the same thing, Jake. I'm not saying tit for tat. That's the right thing. We shouldn't be doing that. We all like the same team and we're rooting for the same team. And on my part, I do apologize. But let's be honest, Jake. I mean, all this was masterminded by Nick Shine because he set us up. He was one of the committee guys. He kind of knew that me and Weed had an issue on his show. And then he knew that would be there would be a lot of sport.
Rob, I'm just going to stop you, man. Don't worry about it. At the end of the day.
I'm just saying, no hard feelings to Nick Shine either, because I don't want to continue this. I really don't. It's BS. You're right. And I'm done with it. I don't want to go tick for tat. I really don't. And on my end, I apologize. I'm sorry.
You're good, Rob. I'm all about entertainment. This tournament's supposed to be fun. If things get out of hand every once in a while, like we're all a big family here and we all fight and then we kiss and make up and it's all good. So you're good in my book, Rob. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Just keep calling in
I'm
and
done.
keep it to the Jets.
I'm
That's all that matters.
Let's talk Jets now. Again, my apologies to everyone. It's up to you if you accept it, but my apologies. As far as the football and free agency, The Jawan Johnson tight end, New Orleans, Jake, he had about 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, 50 receptions. If we don't get Conklin back, I would take him. He looks pretty good. As far as wide receivers, it's kind of slim pickings of who we would spend money for. You're probably looking at Slayton from the Giants, who's a decent receiver. He also put around 500 yards also. And in lieu of the crappy quarterbacks that he had, not terrible. Now, you know how I feel. I really don't want Justin Fields. I know you see an upswing on him. Any quarterback who can throw downfield, I'm really not optimistic about watching him play. I'm really not. I don't think there's really anything out there much better than him. I agree with you there. I don't know. Would you take a flyer on Cooper Rush of Dallas, who had 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions? He's not a bad quarterback. He can throw downfield. What do you think of Cooper Rush, first of all?
Yeah, Cooper Rush is probably not my favorite option, but he's better than some of the suggested options I've seen. I guess it would depend on the money. I don't hate it. Some football news here as we get back on track. Jalen Moore is signing with the Chiefs, so the ex-tackle for the Niners. Now, remember, if you hear a deal announced today, it's not technically official till the new league year starts, which I think is Wednesday, right? It's either Wednesday or Thursday, and then teams can actually officially announce it. So you won't, if the Jets sign, let's say, Justin Fields, you won't actually hear the Jets themselves announce it until the new league year begins, which is Wednesday. Mimosa says, let's talk football, please. Mimosa, we're talking football, baby. And with Rob calling in to clear the air, we can officially retire this clip.
Weed's more likable than you fucking old cunt.
Fuck yourself, you piece of
Go
shit.
fuck yourself.
Fuck you.
Well, first of all, I'm not a trade, you asshole.
Yeah, you are. You are.
You're a fucking asshole, too. So,
Fuck you, asshole. Watch your fucking mouth.
And we're back to football, folks. The Rob versus Chiefs fan Bobby clip is retired up to the rafters. Bino with a super chat. Jacob, I'm not expecting big splashes from Muji, but quite a few solid depth signings instead. That's the look. They still need some starters, though. They have to come away from free agency with probably a starter on. I mean, they need to sign at least one starter at safety. They have to. You can't just go into the draft with no starting safeties. Or with, Jarius Monroe is your only safety option. Shane Tuttle in the raffle. Gifting a channel membership, baby. If you got the membership from Shane, thank him. And if you're tuning in late to the show today, we have an awesome week of prizes that I'll be promoting. More memberships we get, the more I can add. But these are the 2 big prizes this week. A signed jersey by each member of the Sack Exchange, Klecko, Lions, Salam, RIP, Gastineau, and then a signed helmet by each member of the Sack Exchange as well. So it's Sack Exchange week here on the show as we will have our 18th ASMANIAC raffle since December 1st. And by the way, if you won a prize during the raffle on Friday, I will be sending it out this week. So you'll get that soon. Taps any button in the raffle for 5 with this super chat. Yeah, I got beef with Jack. You spelled my name wrong. He sent me to the Shadow Realm because I do not want Rodgers back and never wanted him on the team. All jokes aside, running 3-4 or 4-3, Lions had stand-up linebackers enter me in. I did my best to interpret that. I don't know what scheme they're running yet. When Glenn was asked, he said they're going to be a mix, multiple. Now, we could look at the history of Aaron Glenn and Steve Wilkes, and we could try and figure out what they might do. There was a quote from Glenn where he said that they see football the same way, so I don't know what that means exactly. Some more breaking news, not really Jet-related, but a former Jet. Braxton Berrios has signed a 1-year, $2 million deal with the Houston Texans. Texans need receiver help. And they have a former Jet. So Braxton Berrios to the Texans. I'll never forgive him for dropping that pass in Minnesota, even though he does seem like a nice guy. Let's be real. $2 million, he's probably making less than his famous girlfriend, for what it's worth. Shane writes in, I want an early day one signing. Don't want to wait till midnight when everyone is sleeping. What are you, JJ, calling for a splash? Where's JJ's annual call? We're 22 minutes into legal tampering. The Jets haven't made a big splash yet. Where's JJ's call? Matthew Gordon. Jake needed a thesaurus for that one. I did. By the way, Matthew, I hope you heard your shout out. I appreciate you joining the Patreon. If you upgrade for the year, Matthew, we'll get you 10 raffle entries, just so you know. But I saw you signed up for the month. Make sure you get in that Discord. I'll be posting updates. We'll have bonus shows on Patreon, much more. If you're watching live right now, if you're one of the 891 in here, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Whenever Twitter does get back live, we'll be able to stream the show on Twitter again, or X. Make sure you guys follow me at Jake Asman. I'll be tweeting my thoughts in real time to all the moves the Jets make there as well. So check that out. Instagram, I'm on at Jake Asman as well if you want to see some pictures from this wedding I was at last night. Best man speech, by the way, went very well. A little nervous going in because it's a different medium. You know, like I could talk to 900 people live right now. I'm not in the same room as all of you, right? You can't see that I'm not wearing pants right now. You have no idea. But in a giant room, everyone could see. And I'm not arguing, hey, you need me to tell you Robert Saleh is not a good coach. Argue that. I could do that for you. You need me to do a best man speech. Not the same thing. So it went well, and now we're back. Stack writes in, 898 in the chat and not even 400 likes. Get those likes up. If you're voting in the poll for ASMANIAC Madness, you could at least hit the like button. Neal, by the way, cruising. 71-29 for the OG. I mentioned I wanted to do a little roster breakdown of the Jets before we get some signings today. My favorite website for depth chart analysis is Hourlands. So we'll pull up the Hourlands website and we'll break down the Jet roster real quick before we get some signings today. So you'll see here, we'll start with the offense. If they're in green, that means they're an unrestricted free agent. So you look at the Jets' projected depth chart now at the end of the year. Obviously, Olu is going to replace Tyron, so we don't have to worry about that. Morgan Moses is out there. I'd bring him back. They need to add a tight end if they're not going to keep Conklin. We know Ruckert is a free agent as well. I mean, Ubo is a free agent as well, so you just have Jeremy Ruckert really on the roster right now. Depth-wise, they did bring back Xavier Newman. They're going to need another backup guard. Schweitzer's going to be gone. Max Mitchell's under contract, but his roster spot you would think is in jeopardy. And you look at the quarterback situation. I mean, right now, Tyrod's the starter, but I think we all expect the Jets to add a veteran. Hopefully, it's Justin Fields. Now, if it's not Fields, I don't know why they wouldn't go after Jameis Winston, but there's been nothing connecting the Jets to Winston at this point. Now let's take a look here at the state of the defense as we enter free agency. Let me just remove this ad here. That's obstructing our view. So, state of the defense. Kinlaw, gone, good riddance. Reddick, gone, good riddance. But they got to replace these guys. You're going to get Jermaine Johnson back. But up front, you have Jermaine, you have McDonald, and you have Quinnen. Clemens, see you later. Cut his ass. Solomon Thomas, probably not going to be back. Lecky Fotu, probably not going to be back. Good job retaining Jamian Sherwood. He's back. We'll see what they do with CJ. Are they going to June 1st designate him to save money cap-wise? Is he just going to retire? You save the same amount, whether you do that or he just retires. Sauce is Sauce. Quincy is Quincy. And we already covered the state of the secondary a little bit earlier, but for those just tuning in, they gotta come away with at least one starter on safety in free agency, at least. Probably 2 guys. I mean, if they brought back Ashton Davis on a 1-year deal, I don't think it's the worst idea. I just don't know if that's what this new regime wants to do. And then, special teams wise, Greg Zuerlein, get lost. They'll cut him. Thomas Morstead's under contract for 1 more year. I would keep him. I mean, they could use another kick returner, punt returner. For now, it's still Gibson. We'll see what happens. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. We're talking all things free agency, all things Jets here. Austrian Jet fan is the first person to gift a 5 spot during today's show. If you win a raffle and it's international, have no fear. We ship international. Just ask Austrian Jet fan, who's won 2 raffle prizes so far since we started this thing.
It's the ASMANIAC membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Here are the memberships from the Austrian Jet fan. If you hear your name called, you thank him for coming through. For the people here, ladies and gentlemen, the following 5 people. Nicholas Carnavali, you're a channel member. Also, let's see, Scientology Audit, M.M. Morris, Kendrick Lamar, Matthew Smith, and Yair Rivera, all receiving channel memberships. Austrian Jet fan with a super sticker as well. Thank you, Austrian Jet fan. Let's get to more of your calls. Ladies and gentlemen, he is in action this afternoon. He's facing Purple Belt Mike in the 7 versus 10 matchup. The 10th seed in the Hood region. Nick T is next. Hello, Nick.
What's up, Jake?
Nick, how are you?
Good, good. How did the wedding go?
Wedding went well. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I heard you earlier talking about the speech. You're like, oh, yeah, talking in front of people. I'm not really sure. I know exactly what you're talking about. But, the thing is, you could always go back to the Robert Saleh, the tape, the silent tape looked good.
You know what? I got a lot of good feedback, so I'll take it.
That's good. That's good. So Jets. So free agency. A couple things that I'm really interested in, especially after a couple of the cuts last week. On the defensive side, Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen were cut last week, and either of those 2 guys next to Quinnen, I think, would solve a lot of our problems. I'm not sure if Allen is great against the run. I know he was a multiple-time Pro Bowler, but I just think plug and play, and right there, defense, at least the run game seems to be fixed on the defensive side.
I wouldn't mind either one. It's going to come down to cost. I don't know if they're going to want to spend big at that position when they already have Quinnen. Hargrave's probably going to get a big contract.
Yeah, that was what I was worried about. I wasn't sure what, but would Allen coming off the, again, he's probably getting a big contract from Washington. I don't know what his value is, spot track or anything like that. But someone like that, a next one would just, I think, seal the deal for the defense. But offensively, I know our buddy Ryan really likes this. That Jedrick Wills, I really like at right tackle. I really like, I know he's been injured a little bit, but I think he could come on a decent deal, like a prove it 1 or 2 year deal, and could be a perfect plug and play starter. And remember, he did play right tackle in college for Tua at that point in time. So, he does have experience there at a decent, high level.
I wouldn't hate that signing. I would prefer to just keep Morgan Moses, because I think there's something to be said for having the same 5 guys year over year start for you. That to me is appealing right there, especially if they have a quarterback in Justin Fields who you're trying to set up to maybe develop into your long-term guy, and you're giving him a strong O-line to work with. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah. My thinking with Wills is just he's younger,
Breaking news. Commanders have signed former Jets defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw. Adam Peters is the Commanders GM. He was with them in San Fran. So not that we're surprised, but Javon Kinlaw will not be back with the Jets.
Good riddance.
Yeah, pretty much.
But honestly, looking forward to this afternoon. It'll be fun. Good time. I think, it's a great thing you're doing, because I think it gives everybody the opportunity just to kind of meet all the callers, right? You have so many people that call in from time to time, day to day. So it's kind of neat to just meet, even PBM, I didn't really I think I've spoken to him maybe once with Bobby at some point in time, but no idea who he was until, recently. So it's nice to just kind of get everyone's backstory and how they met. You built a community here, so it's awesome.
I appreciate it, Nick. Are you excited to go up against PBM in the afternoon? Do you have a strategy to try and dethrone him?
No. Honestly, it's all good fun, so I really don't care. You want to vote for me, great. I think some of my wrestling buddies are like Big Fella and FPP in the chat will probably, hopefully, shell out. But honestly, no, it's all in good fun. Whatever happens, happens.
I'll tell you what, the Hood region is shaping up to be quite the region here with some of the matchups.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 10th seed, Nick T, checking in before he does battle this afternoon. Honestly, I just want to let everyone know it could be a lot sooner. If the Jets sign Justin Fields now, I'm ending the show and going live with a field stream. So wherever we're at in the tournament, that's how we're doing it. Because we got to be live and react to what the Jets do. That's what this channel is. I would have went live last night if I could have, but I was a little busy. I did give you guys a little reaction take, though. So I did what I could. If you wanted my Sherwood reaction last night. Kikuchi with a super chat here. Asmaniac super chat. Neal gets the dub just off the stroke game he showcased in the MetLife parking lot. God. Now, some thought maybe that would hurt Neal. I have always disagreed with that. I thought Neal showing his passion and disdain for the Patriots was going to help him in this tournament. So, I'm with you, Kikuchi. Feel weird calling it a stroke game. I will not refer to it as that. But Neal is doing what a 3 seed should do, right? Handling business against a 14 seed in Indy Jets, who, by the way, is a very good caller as well. Am I seeing Javon Kinlaw? How much money did Javon Kinlaw get? Javon Kinlaw got $30 million guaranteed. Is this the worst free agent class of all time? How is Kinlaw getting, if anyone talks about, all right, I think Twitter's back up because I'm getting notifications now. If Javon Kinlaw is getting the same exact contract as Jamie and Sherwood, what are these NFL teams smoking? Did they watch Kinlaw? Oh my God. This can't be real. Now Twitter's down for me again. I saw 30 million guaranteed. Are you shitting me? That is wild, man. Javon Kinlaw is getting more money than, or the same amount of money than, sure. I am blown away by this. That is wild. $45 million deal, $30 million guarantee. That is insane. Like, geez, I know the Jets suck, but it's easy just to say, oh, he was bad because of the Jets, but like, give me a break. Anyone who watched Javon Kinlaw, wow. I wouldn't pay him if he was for free. That can't be a real contract. Who are they competing with for Javon Kinlaw? Unbelievable. Rat Diddy with a super chat. He's in the raffle for 5, but the surprise, the usual Asmaniacs haven't started complaining that Muji's asleep at the wheel. I think any Asmaniac out there should be thrilled that Darren Muji is maybe, quote unquote, asleep at the wheel if he didn't give Javon Kinlaw $45 million. Holy shit. Is that a bad contract? Oh my God. That can't be real. I thought that was a joke. What is going on?
Oh, this is what I'm going to do to you all seasoned little bitches.
Javon Kinlaw, man. Damn. Neal up big, 71-29 with over 600 votes that have been cast. We're going to have voting records this week with free agency. Twitter's down again, by the way. Just so everyone knows. It was back briefly and it's down again. Barbarossa says, Kinlaw ain't worth this super chat. Kinlaw ain't worth a $2 super chat, let alone 45 million, 30 million guaranteed. I get it, the Jets were bad, but like everyone just saying, oh, well, he was on the Jets. That's why he didn't play well. Didn't watch. Terrible signing by the Commanders. And Reddick got overpaid too. What a joke. What a joke. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Let's get to more of your calls. Say hi to Kyle Clifton now. Hey, Kyle.
Jake, I think that Wilpa had a tweet that compensatory picks weren't expected for Riddick and Kinlaw, but it looks like that might be the case now with the size of these contracts.
Yeah, I think it's based on how much the Jets themselves now spend in free agency too for that to be formulated.
So I think you highlighted when you went to our lads, one of our greatest needs. Of course, we do need to fill out the safety room. But, I was saying in the Patreon the other day that defensive tackle is a real need with these guys, as spotty as their play has been, kind of defecting Solly Thomas and Kinlaw. And, they have some guys in there that, maybe showing some promise or have some physical ability like Fajarian Mathis and Taylor the third. But I think we have to come out of this free agent period with at least one D tackle as well, a veteran guy, hopefully kind of a space eater, a guy that takes some heat off of our boy Quinnen. But my point to Neal, and I love Neal. I haven't had a chance to vote for him yet, and I will. He's in my final four. Is that if we let this draft come to us, we're going to be able to get some quality defensive tackles in this draft. He's saying that it takes 2 years for them to develop. Well, in the middle rounds, I hope that's not the case because it's 4-year contracts, right? And we got to get these guys out there and playing if that's the case. I think Fields, like you had said, probably is trending towards happening, and hopefully they are going to him and saying, in this system, we think we can get the best out of you, right? And at the very least, you'll be able to showcase your talents here and maybe find a long-term home, maybe not as a starter, but that's best case scenario, or as a backup. I would love to have him in the building because it would give us an element that we, quite frankly, have never had. That kind of tuck it and run type quarterback. And if you look at some of his numbers, like he had his lowest sack rate ever this past year. I think he had his highest completion rate ever this year. I think there's a lot of arrow pointing up with Justin Fields, and there's not a whole lot of other options out there. So to take a flyer on him is the kind of the way to go, in my humble opinion.
I agree. Look, do I think he's the long-term answer? No, but at least I can't go into the year and say there's no chance of the Jets being a good football team. No one saw Darnold doing what he did or Mayfield, so you never know.
Well, I mean, what you have to do at the very least is bring someone in who might be that guy,
right?
And he might be that guy. I hope that you took some preventative measures and got some B complex in your system. If not, a good hangover helper is chocolate milk with crushed ice. Have a great day, Jake.
Chocolate milk with crushed ice?
That's the way to go. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I've not heard that, Kyle, but I will look into that. All right.
Very good. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Kyle. Kyle Clifton checking in. Super chat from Ron. Jake, can we get a synopsis of your best man speech from yesterday? Can we get a synopsis of it? There was a lot of jokes that I don't know the audience would understand. So it's a unique wedding for me. I went to high school and college with my buddy Dan, who I was the best man for. So for me, it was a wedding that, other than I guess maybe like a family member's wedding, like my brother, or I guess my wedding at some point one day, I know more people at this wedding than any other wedding I'll ever attend. So I felt like I had to make sure the speech was good because I knew 80% of the room. Because the bride, I also went to high school with, so I've known her forever too. So I could give you the opening line because this is funny. I think you guys will appreciate this. Good evening, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Jake. I have the honor of being Dan's best man tonight. When Dan asked me to do this, I was excited. Casey, however, was horrified. She immediately told me she was more nervous about me giving this speech than anything else about the wedding. So thanks for the vote of confidence, Casey, and for writing my opening lines. That's how it started. There's a bunch of stuff in there. There is a couple Jet references. Dan is a huge Jets fan, so I have a line in there about how much he loves his teams and despises Woody. So Woody Johnson got a shout out for all the wrong reasons. I'll see if I can get the footage of it, and I'll play it on the show for those who actually are interested. Nick Shine with a great comment. We should cut Clemens so the Commanders can give him 3 years, $30 million. Please. Jake Quest writes in, Jake, I think it's time to unleash it. So I got back to my apartment here at like 3:30 last night. And I checked my Discord messages. And I got a hold on. StreamYard's down. I just like Twitter. I got a message from Jay Quest of him calling in to Chris McMonagle, the overnight host on WFAN. And for those who have been with the show for over a year, you know that Jay Quest was a part of some of the all-time great prank calls any of us have seen when he prank called both stations in this town, the Fan and the one I do work for, ESPN New York, asking about Knoble. So what I have right here is part one of what will ultimately be a two-part Jay Quest experience of Jay Quest calling into the Fan last night, pranking the overnight host about the latest prospect that Lane Kerner has scouted, Dixon Hall. So here's a little preview of what will ultimately be a two-part call from, once again, the mastermind that is Jay Quest.
Reed in Brattleboro. What's up, Reed?
Hey, Chris. How are you?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I've been better. Having a hard time sleeping since I moved out here from Glen Oaks.
Oh, yeah?
But
I know all about having trouble sleeping, buddy.
I was calling about the Jets, but I actually had a basketball point, too, real quick, if you don't mind, about St. John. So before the season started, I made a friendly wager with my friend who's a Chiefs fan. His team is Xavier. He's a big Xavier fan.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, yeah, Xavier's going to win the Big East this year. Put your money where your mouth is. So we bet $1,000 on that. Not the regular season, the Big East tournament. And he's got Xavier, coached by Big Cho. They got Lane Kerner, Charles Gorman, Bobby Midnight. But they're a good team, but I think the Johnny's got them. I'm hoping. Who knows?
Yeah, well, you're hoping they get picked off on Thursday against Xavier.
Yeah, in regards to Jets' point, we need a quarterback. I get it. We've been there, quarterback hell and forever and whatnot. I know a couple nights ago you were saying you would pick Sanders, I think.
Yes, if Sanders is there at 7, I would take him, yes.
I don't know. Cam Ward, 100%, I would take him. But what about this kid from Arizona State, Dixon Hole? His receivers with the Bonesy brothers, Joe and Anthony. And Jaden Daniels left LSU at Arizona State because this kid was outperforming him. The only problem is he's like an 8th-year senior because of that whole COVID thing. So he's like almost like a Chris Winkie type guy or like Rick Kent from Brigham State. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have real strong opinions on him. I'll be telling you honestly, I haven't broke down the film, but I'm not going to take him 7. You want to take him later? You want to take any one of these quarterbacks? It doesn't have to be him. It could be whoever you want.
Oh, my God. Is that incredible? He got him again. You cannot make it up. For those of you who don't know who Dixon Hole is, let me tell you who Dixon Hole is.
Hello, Jake.
Hey, Lane. How are you?
Great. Do you see the Jets possibly drafting, was it Dixon?
Dixon?
Yeah.
Who's Dixon?
He's out of college. Dixon Hall.
I'm actually not familiar with Dixon Hall. What position does he play?
QB.
So Dixon Hall, quarterback.
Yeah.
Do you think that Dixon Hall would be a good pick by the Jets?
Yeah.
I'm going to look into Dixon Hall, but your scouting acumen speaks for itself. All right, Dixon Hall to the Jets. Let's start the campaign, people.
Dixon Hall. It's almost like Knoble.
Yeah, but Knoble ended up being a great find by you. You were ahead of the curve.
Well, I did find that he got into an accident with his estranged girlfriend.
That's right.
I'm going into a house. He's alive. The 27th pick in the NFL draft, the New York Jets select Dixon Hall out of Arizona State. What am I, a mind reader? Like, I know every player. So, yeah, that's all I have to say.
To the late trade. Incredible. Jay Quest, I mean, he's on quite the run, folks. Now, Jay Quest, if you look at his matchup in the tournament, he's going up against Pot Stirrer Ted. in the 8-9. Jay Quest the 8 seed, Ted the 9 seed. If Jay Quest beats Ted, could he take down Bobby Midnight in the round of 32 with some of these prank call momentum that he now has? Now, I also want to play this because I want to give so much credit to Jay Quest here for giving us that. Because that is, I mean, this is 3 o'clock in the morning. He's making this prank call to McMonagle on the Fan, who for the second year in a row fell for a fake player. This was Jay Quest when he found out that he even made the ASMANIAC Madness tournament.
Guys, I'm really nervous. I don't know what's gonna happen if I don't get in.
We might lose the house again.
I know it's gonna be the 3rd time, but let's just see. It's about to come on. Let's see what happens. Look at the screen. Look, it's about to come on. 2. Yeah! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We're in! We're in! Let's go! We're in, baby! We're in! Woo! We're not losing the house! Yeah, Jake!
Incredible. Jay Quest, I salute you, sir. Thank you for that frank call. Oh, was that funny to watch last night? Jay Quest wants to know, did I get any super chats after the best man speech? I did not. I did not. No gifted memberships either. Nick Shine says, isn't Dixon Hole what ended Bobby's channel? Well, yeah, I guess we could say that. Ralphie says, the great Rick Kent from Brigham State. The amount of Easter eggs or references to the show in that minute 28 of that clip there. Amazing. Gator's got more. I just sent that to Gator this morning. I go, hey, do whatever you could do with this. I want to play it on the show. And this is just the start. Dixon Hole to the Jets. Dan says, how many sacks will Reddick get against us in Tampa Bay? Hassan Reddick stinks, Dan. I hope none. Now, if Rodgers signs with the Steelers, I'm fully predicting him to throw 3 touchdowns against the Jets when they play. But I don't fear Reddick. That guy's a bum. Selfish player. Give some love to Jay Questo in the chat, man. That's incredible. Rat Diddy says, Jay Quest has moved up the Vegas odds after that call. I think he has too. Some signings here to share. Jimmy Garoppolo was going back to the Rams as their backup. So he's off the board as a possible Jets quarterback option. Not that I thought they'd sign him. I mean, if you sign Jimmy Garoppolo and Tyrod Taylor, how are you getting through 17 games when both your quarterbacks are made out of glass? Elijah Mitchell is signing with the Chiefs, former Niners running back. Former Falcons center Drew Dalman is signing with the Bears. They have completely revamped their offensive line. I like what the Bears have done this offseason. They've invested in their O-line to give Caleb Williams a chance with a real offensive coach. I think they've had a good offseason. I don't know how anyone, if you're a Bears fan, could complain about their approach, right? They've added 3 starting offensive linemen already, and they're all solid players. Also, we have the Jaguars signing former Cowboys corner Jordan Lewis. He's now the highest paid nickel corner in the league. So give Joe Douglas credit for extending Michael Carter when he did, because that set the mark for nickel corners, and now it was just tapped. So that's football contracts. It's always next guy up. That's why I think when you see what J.C. Horn got today, I would try and extend Sauce Gardner. Omari says, Kinlaw is $30 million GTFOH. Get the F out of here. Yeah, Omari, I have no answers for you, man. Nick Shine says, Jay Quest getting fitted for slippers as we speak as Cinderella arrived. I think Jay Quest could take down Bobby Midnight in the round of 32. Now, we don't know what Ted has in stir, because we know Ted knows how to stir the pot. So it's not going to be easy for Jay Quest in that battle. Ladies and gentlemen, Ted is actually on the line, and he's up next on the show. Hello, Ted.
Jake, even I cannot overcome those 2 calls. I'll be honest with you. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to say I'm conceding, but I have a plan with my time on the Asman show during this tournament. but to overcome those two masterful calls, and you made a very astute comment saying that Bobby should be wary about Jay Quest at this point, because Jay Quest's reason for that call is he's looking beyond our matchup to Bobby's matchup. Got any good updates, Jake?
Say that one more time.
Which part? The last part?
Yeah.
No, I said, do you have any good updates? Updates on the signings. You were looking down.
No, I'm checking right now. It's hard. It's Twitter's still down, so it's difficult. No, there's nothing Jet related yet. I'm just going through the most recent.
No, I'm saying Jay Quest is already what Nick said. He's looking beyond me, which I completely get, and looking at Bobby. So I think Bobby needs to bring his A game, or else it's gonna be trouble for Bobby. So
interesting. You're already
that's the way I see it.
You're already conceding to Jay Quest. You don't think you could top him?
That's what a great mind of a pot stirrer knows. The pot stirrers know how the other we have an intuition about things. So I don't think I can overcome those two calls.
Wow.
So I will go in with other ammunition for other folks on the channel. That's my plan.
I'll tell you what, Nate makes a good point in the chat. If Bobby calls into the fan like he did last year with Knoble and tries to go toe-to-toe with Jay Quest, that could help his chances if they do match up on that round of 32.
I would say they would be 50-50 then. If Bobby has a call like that, if he can fit a call in like that, then that's a possibility, I would say.
I see. Yep.
I would say that's a possibility. Thank you, Jake. But I'll be around for the call. I have another plan, so I'll be around though. I appreciate it. Hopefully we get Justin Fields. Cooper Rush was I'll just say this, you hung up on me when I brought up Cooper Rush, but that's okay. I think that's a very cheap signing, just maybe as a third string. If we, for Fields, and obviously I would want Fields.
Yeah, he'd be the two. I mean, it'd be him and Tyrod if you sign Cooper Rush.
I guess. Anyway, that's about all I got. Have a good one, Jake.
Ted, I appreciate it, man. How about that? Jay Quest's prank call so good that Ted, the ultimate pot stirrer, basically conceding on the air. Bino with a super chat. The Bonesy brothers at wide receiver 2 and 3 would be an epic draft get. I mean, there's so many. I want to play that call again. I'll play it again a little later on the show. It's so good. I'm glad Gator, and that wasn't even in the whole thing. Gator just basically edited it down to turn it around quick enough for us to have something like that. Omari, Kinlaw, $45 million. I'm in the wrong profession. Omari is just befuddled by the Kinlaw signing. He's used 2 super chats on it. I am too, to be fair. $45 million for Kinlaw. Now, let's be real. You only really care about the guarantees in football contracts, but still, $30 million for Javon Kinlaw? In what world? Rat Diddy. Jay Quest is like the UConn team that turns it on for the tournament. Unbelievable. Shane, Garoppolo staying with the Rams. Yes, we talked about that. It's a 1-year, $11 million deal. So that gives you an idea on the Fields contract. If Garoppolo's getting $11 million, prepare to pay Justin Fields more than that. So probably 2 years, $25 million. 2 years, $23 million. If it is a 1-year deal, 1 year, $15 million. JK says, I guess Salah wasn't wrong when he said he would get people paid. Nate says, Jake, you're all over these signings with Twitter down. Nate, I have 3 people, including you, texting me stuff, like my buddy Matt here. You're not the only one. Even Gator's like, I'm going to start sending you texts of stuff too. But I do appreciate you, Nate. Giants have agreed to terms with cornerback Paulson Abio. So the Giants have signed a corner. He's a pretty good player from what I understand. We'll get to more of your calls coming up. If you're just tuning in late, I see there's 904 of you in here live. That better be 904 people subscribed to this channel. Where else are you going to find prank calls about fake draft prospects? We're at 41,424 subscribers. My goal is to get to 50K by week 1 of the Jet season. So help us get there and join the Patreon if you really want to support the show. You'll gain access to our private Discord. Your name will be added to the intro. You'll get 20% off all merch items, bonus shows, and a lot more. Jet Fan 051 says Blue Sky finally showing its worth. To be honest, I didn't even know what Blue Sky was. I remember I heard of it when it first started. It's like fake Twitter or new Twitter. I don't know. I'm just glad we're getting some updates with Twitter down. I can't stream the show on Twitter today, so hopefully people knew to go to YouTube. Jake West says just pay Fields. I agree. I would pay Fields. Do I think he's great? No. Do I think there's a chance he can give us a fun season? Yeah. I'm not expecting it, but at least I could be hopeful, right? He has talent. He's only 25 years old. That's why I would sign him. Also, I think it was Albert Breer who reported this. If Denver didn't draft Surtain in 2021, Fields would have been their pick. Darren Muji was a part of that front office then. So maybe he's always had an affinity, for all we know, for Justin Fields. More of your calls right now. Big Cho is up next. Hey, Big Cho.
What's going on, Jake?
What's up, Big Cho?
Just calling to give you, wanted to ask you, is my matchup with David T tomorrow morning?
Your matchup with David T is, I could tell you, it is, in fact, tomorrow morning. That is correct.
So what time you come on the air? About 10?
10 a.m.
Okay. I'm just trying to work it out with our practice. We lost in the semifinals by 1. We were down 18 with less than 7 minutes to go. Came all the way back, had the ball to win the game. Missed the shot in and out. Got the rebound, got fouled. Got fouled again. No call, swallowed the whistle. So we lost that game. And I'm one of those guys, I'll tell you straight up if we got fouled or not. If we didn't get fouled, then we didn't get fouled. But he got hammered.
I'm sorry to hear that, Big Joe.
That's okay. But we found out last night that we made the NCAA tournament at an at-large bid.
Congratulations, Joe.
Yeah. So we play this weekend, and so we'll be revving up practice starting tonight. So I just wanted to try to figure out when I can call the show around practice.
Well, I'll tell you what, Big Joe, if you can't make it, don't worry. If you want to record a video and email it to Gator, I'd be happy to play it on the show.
All right, I should be able to make it.
I would campaign right now, Big Joe. You got almost 1,000 people watching you. Why should people vote for you over David T?
See, you put me on the spot. I'd rather just go head to head with David T. I was hoping you'd put us side by side when we match up so we could go head to head.
Well, he's not on the line right now, so I can't do that.
No, I know. I'm talking about when our matchup is. Hopefully he'll be on the line in the morning.
Sounds good, Big Joe. All right. All the love.
Hey, appreciate you taking my call. Real quick, everybody's talking about Justin Fields. What's his interest in the Jets? Has he said anything?
He hasn't said anything, but if he signs with the Jets, I would say he's interested.
That's a no-brainer. But appreciate the call.
Big Joe, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Joe. What a man. All right, more calls right now. Let's say hi to Jason in Jerusalem. Hello, Jason.
Showing support for the Hood division.
I love it.
Everybody should cut on and show support. Loving the madness.
There is
Was
madness.
was any other matchup even as close as mine?
One matchup was, I forget which one, but yours came down to a vote, and then the very next day, it also JJ versus June came down to like 3 votes. They said.
Well, it was a good division we had there with the with Gorman leading us in the chicken soup division.
Look, you fought hard, Jason. You really did. It was a great battle.
I'm looking at the QBs. I love the idea of getting Fields. Where do you see the Giants going? I'm just looking at this, and it seems like nothing falls into place for them other than perhaps Russell Wilson.
Well, Pittsburgh signs Rodgers.
Right. Pittsburgh goes to Rodgers, and the Jets get Fields. Who's left for the Giants?
They're going to end up with Russell Wilson, would be my prediction in that scenario.
And if he doesn't go to the Giants, he goes anywhere else, or he's just out of the league at this point?
If he doesn't go to the Giants, I mean, I'm sure someone will sign him. I don't know what team. Maybe Tennessee, maybe Cleveland. There'll be a team. Someone's going to sign Russell Wilson. He's not going to be out of the league.
Well, we've had weirder things before with top flight quarterbacks that just didn't want to take a pay cut or just gave up.
They're going to sign someone. Someone's going to sign him. I don't think he's going to be out of football.
What I love about the idea of Fields is it kind of mirrors what happens with Parcells in '98, that the Jets take a flyer on a former first-round pick who really sucked in his first stop and did okay in his second stop by the name of Vinny Testaverde, and suddenly just blew the roof off of the entire building at his third stop. So the idea of Fields doing that, it's kind of a cool idea.
He has talent. He's only 25. I mean, if you would have told a Jet fan after the performance Fields had against Clemson in that, I think it was the Sugar Bowl, that he'd be the Jet quarterback in 2025, if you told the Jet fan that then, they probably would have been thrilled. Being like, oh, we took Fields second overall. He's still our quarterback in 2025. So you never know.
Yeah, there was serious talk about that. And listen, it took these guys, the COVID year really messed up a lot of those quarterbacks.
And he's never been in a great situation. Like Chicago was never equipped to be a great situation around him. Pittsburgh was an okay situation for him. I mean, he had a really good head coach, but their offense wasn't great. He was 4-2. Sometimes it just takes time for guys. Not everyone's Jaden Daniels right away. Maybe like Darnold and Mayfield, he needed to find the right situation for him.
Exactly. Just the hope is that you don't. At the end of the day, it's going to be 3 playbooks in 3 years, and that's not easy for anybody, let alone a young player. So you hope that doesn't make it too difficult for him.
Yeah, look, I don't think he's great, but I rather him than – I already know what Carson Wentz is and what Marcus Mariota is. I don't think we could say we definitively know what Justin Fields is. So that's why I would sign him, because there's some potential upside there. There's a legitimate upside with a player like him.
I agree. Even when he left Philly, the talk was only looks at the tight end, doesn't look at anybody else, won't even look at option 1. And he just went downhill after that with Washington and Indy. And Casey, he just rode the bench, but nothing special there. And the only name that we haven't heard anything about is Daniel Jones. Not that I want him, but I found it interesting.
The Colts I saw were reportedly interested in signing him to compete with Anthony Richardson.
They're looking for anybody. They're looking for anybody with a pulse to compete with Richardson.
Yeah. I mean, Daniel Jones would not have been my first choice for that, but maybe they think they could run a similar offense with him and Richardson as kind of mobile, athletic quarterbacks. And, if they go with one or the other, it's not like they have to really change their whole offense around to accommodate the player's skill set. So maybe that's the reason behind that.
I saw them going for Kirk Cousins to be the third version of Phillip Rivers / Matt Ryan / Kirk Cousins. And they get a guy the year before he retires.
Yeah, to me, that would make sense. And we saw them do that. I don't know. We'll see. Russell Wilson, I think, is definitely, back to your original take, I think he's going to be on a team somewhere. I don't think he's going to be out of football.
Okay. Obviously, he's not coming to the Jets. There's no way Muji would touch him. and no reason he should.
Russell Wilson will not be a Jet. I think it's fair to say.
All right, Jake. I'm hoping that Fields turns into a Vinny. You heard it here first. If he does, same trajectory. The disciple and the mentor following the same path.
I appreciate it, Jason. Good call. Good to hear from you. I mean, look, the Vinny comp, though, I don't think is necessarily Fields. I think it's Jameis Winston, former number 1 overall pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, bounced around the league, throws a lot of touchdowns, throws a lot of interceptions, finds a home with the right coach, and has some success and takes advantage of that talent. And Vinny, when he signed with the Jets, was a lot older than Winston would be if Winston signed with the Jets. And I'm not sitting here telling you guys I think Jameis Winston is great, but I do think Jameis Winston is capable of having a great year. Ignore the random graphics that pop up on the screen. You can blame StreamYard for this, which don't even get me started. There's at least upside there with Jameis. He could throw for 30 touchdowns and 5,000 yards in the season. And yeah, he also could throw a boatload of picks. But he's talented. And he's only 31. Let's look at how old Vinny Testaverde was when he signed with the Jets. I think that's the comp. They're 2 former number 1 overall picks from the Bucs. When Vinny signed with the Jets, he was 35. Think about that. He had already played in Tampa, Cleveland, and Baltimore. Vinny, to me, would be a logical choice. I mean, Jameis, to me, would be a logical choice. Vinny. How old is Vinny Testaverde now? Does he want to come out of retirement? Vinny is 61. Yeah, I would say he's probably not an option for the Jets. But I think Jameis might be. All right, big signing here. Potential Jets target, but I don't think he was going to be a Jet. Carlton Davis, according to multiple reports, is signing a deal with the Patriots. Now, let's talk about how this impacts the draft. There was a thought process that the Pats would consider Travis Hunter if he was there at 4. I don't know if they would now. Now I think it's more likely they go offensive line help. But Carlton Davis, who's probably the top corner on the market, is going to New England. 3 years, $60 million deal, $35 million roughly guaranteed. Other signings here. Steelers left tackle Dan Moore is signing a 4-year, $82 million deal, $50 million guaranteed with the Titans. So they got a ton. He got a ton, I should say. I'm trying to catch up here. That's $20 million a year for Carlton Davis. I'm curious to see what DJ Reed gets. I don't think the Jets are obviously going to bring DJ Reed back. Carlton Davis to the Pats. Let's see what that does for their draft situation. By the way, once again, another corner getting paid. I would just extend Sauce now. That's the going rate for a corner. Let's see. I got 5 raffle entries here from Paul. Paul, thank you very much for supporting the channel. We certainly appreciate you. Hit it for Paul. Sound the alarm. If you hear your name called, these are from Paul Taxter, OG Jet fan. That's our guy, Tommy. Isaac, Connor Long, Sherry French, and Legacy Aaron Green, all receiving a channel membership there. Paul's in the raffle for 5. Big Fella says Pat signed Spillane and Carlton Davis. Yes, they did. Twitter is still down. So we're going off Blue Sky and Instagram for updates here. This is a pain in the ass. Now, it was reported the Jets had interest in Carlton Davis, but they were not going to offer him $20 million a year. Jerry Dulac, who covers the Steelers, is saying that a Rodgers to Pittsburgh deal is getting close. Logical. Remember, Aaron Rodgers, Not good enough for the Jets, but good enough for one of the best head coaches in the league, and Mike Tomlin. Remember that. But Jake, they only won 5 games. Well, Hall of Fame coach is about to sign the guy. And get ready for week 1, Steelers at Jets, when we know exactly how this plays out. But I digress because hey, Jake, get over it. You're not allowed to be upset. Right, because you disagree with my opinion. I'm not allowed to voice that on my channel. Okay. Please. Hey, but hey, we won our cap space championship, baby. Woo! You know, over the weekend, I got fitted for my cap space championship ring that the Jets won this offseason already. Hell yeah. Can't wait to see the contract Aaron signs too, by the way. Brutal. I hope this team doesn't suck this year. Because Aaron Rodgers is going to play well if he goes to the Steelers. You know it. I know it. Even if you didn't want Rodgers back with the Jets, you know it deep down inside too. Try and talk yourself out of it. Try and convince yourself otherwise. Deep down, I see right through each of your souls. You know exactly how this is going to play out. It's Snoopy. Here it is, right on cue. Stop crying about Rodgers. No, I won't. Because one of the greatest coaches in the league is about to sign him. And we know how this plays out. Now, I hope the Jets have an 09-like season. When they let Favre go, guess what? I didn't care that Favre was great with the Vikings. Because you know what? The Jets were in the AFC Championship game back-to-back years. TH3 Entertainment. Re-sign Eccles or go get Byron Murphy. Eccles to me would be logical because at least he wouldn't cost you that much. Unreal. Sicilian Zip says, can we trade Sauce for a ransom and avoid paying? Why would you trade him? What do you think you're getting for him? What do you think you're getting him? Jesus says, you're speaking nonsense. Letting Rodgers go was a good move. He was more drama than his current ability. He's so much drama that the Pittsburgh Steelers are about to sign him. Okay, please. You've fallen for the media bullshit if you think there was so much drama. The same media that ran him out of town and now is saying, well, the Jets don't have a quarterback. And we don't have a wide receiver outside of Garrett. We could have had Rodgers and Devontae for a year and drafted someone that got to sit behind him. So much drama that every player on the team was upset that they let him go. That Aaron Glenn had to address one of the captains of the team putting a thumbs down emoji on Twitter right after they announced they were moving on from Rodgers. Please. You could say, you could argue the Jets had every right to move on from. I get it. There's an argument for both sides. I fully see that. What I push back on is that they had to get rid of him because of the drama. And then some of you want this team to draft Shedeur Sanders at pick 7. And you're going to tell me about drama. Please. But no, we should not trade Sauce Gardner. All right, back to that. Hit the like button. We're at almost 500. Update on the poll. Neal is cruising to a victory in the round of 64. 70-30. If Neal holds on and wins, he will face Leany in the round of 32. Two great OG Jet fans duking it out in the round of 32 in the Hood region. Odith Swift. A-Rod was not doing good for us. Okay, he threw 28 touchdowns. Are you aware of what Jet quarterback history looks like? You're aware of that? You want to talk about missing open receivers? Did you watch Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle play the position? Or Sam Darnold? Or Geno Smith? I mean, come on, man. Hey, give me a break. Whatever. I hope the Jets sign Fields and he's amazing. Justin Fields revenge game. Forget the Aaron Rodgers revenge game against the Jets. I'll be rooting for the Justin Fields revenge game. Bang Mateo, who couldn't wait to get rid of Rodgers, now says Arthur Smith will revive Rodgers' career in Pittsburgh. Sure, Bang. Of course. More calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't heard from this guy in a while. His internet, I'm sure, remains terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to unleash the beast.
Would you silence or should I do one of these?
Beast, how are you?
Okay, I'm writing a book right now. I'm stressed.
You're writing a book?
Yes, I am. I'm right now. I'm up to 1994. I'm trying to really. It's really struggling. It's like someone's pulling me on the left and someone's pulling me on the right. It's like, hey, leave my right alone, or I'm gonna come kill you. And the right's saying, hey, get off of me. It's like, okay, fine. You want to have a Royal Rumble? Let's go. Ding, 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 ding. I hate that. It's just, ugh. It's hard, but you know what? 10 years from now, when I look back at this, I'm going to say I did something. But whoever wants to get rid of Sauce Gardner, you have to have the IQ lower than the toilet paper, and that's an embarrassment to see. I've never thought in my 30 years of watching football, I'm thinking, who is this idiot that says Sauce needs to be traded? Are you blind or are you that pathetic? You have to have the IQ lower than cheap toilet paper that you get at Dollar Tree. Let's play facts and fiction, people. If we want talent, it's called, how about get off your ass and go do it? Don't just stand there and go, I got a finger in my ass. Yeah, oh, shut up. Shut up and wait. You can smell the roses for once in your lives. George Carlin said it best a long time ago. You get up, you go to work, you eat 3 good meals, take 1 big good shit, you go back to bed. What is the mystery? Is there a mystery? No, there is no mystery. It is so easy to do. I mean, come on. We all get up to take a shower every day to wash ourselves down and look great and smell good. Common sense, people. It's not difficult to take 10 billion out and go get. It's not rocket. It's simple, easy to do. Simple shit. Thumbnail. Come on. It's like when you get sick. When you get lip crud. That flaky, crusty shit. When you get on down, you scrape it on down, and then you roll it up the ball, and then you. Hey, that son of a bitch. But.
Beast's birthday was over the weekend, everyone. So wish Beast a happy birthday in the chat. What a call. Super chat. What's the bounty on a Beast permanent ban? Asking for a friend. Beast is part of the family. This is Los. We don't bounty family members around here. Now, if you want a permanent bounty on Bang Mateo for a whopping $7, I can make that happen. I'm just kidding. Or am I? More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to a man who doesn't typically call us during the day, but with his new job, he's around. His name is Nick Shine, and he joins us now. Hello, Nick.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
What's going on?
X is back up.
Is it?
Yeah, just came back up during that Beast rant. And of all the beat writers are basically, are we back? Are we back? Jets are like, tap Mike, we're back up. So the alerts were coming in, which is great, because you sign up for Garofalo, Rappaport, Schefter. You were getting the alerts, but you just couldn't get the feed loaded. So it looks like.
Yeah, I was getting texts sent to me by people from Instagram and Blue Sky. To recap where we are right now, as I've been live for almost an hour and 40 minutes, the only Jet news of consequence is potentially Rodgers going to Pittsburgh, which then clears the way for the Jets to sign Justin Fields, who many people are reporting is their number one free agent quarterback target. And a couple former Jets have signed elsewhere. Most notably, Javon Kinlaw got $45 million, 30 of it guaranteed to go to the Commanders. And Hassan Reddick signed a 1-year deal with the Bucs and got like $14 million, which is insane because apparently neither of those two teams put on any tape of the Jets and watched those two players on the Jets defense last year.
So if Reddick would have got 10 sacks last year, he would have got $140 million for this year because they're paying $14 million per sack. That's the going rate.
Insane.
Myles Garrett's underpaid at that rate.
Ridiculous.
What are you thinking in terms of the money going out right now? Now, I was a big believer that the Jets would wait it out and hit that second wave of free agency. and avoid the overpaying and the panic. We see some of these contracts right now. Do you think that is the trend with the cap going up, or do you think this is the let's fill the need, let's overpay for it a little bit, and then the rational teams will come in and find that second wave where contracts get a little more logical?
I think they're going to be active on the first wave too, but I definitely think the second wave is probably going to be a lot of the work they do. Like because to me they don't have a win now mandate. They're not all in to try and win this year, despite what they say publicly that they want to win. You know, so I think they'll be active. Though they have to be. They have to come away with at least one or two safeties. They have to sign some depth to the D line, and D line is expensive, even if it's depth. We're seeing what the market is for a guy like Kinlaw and Reddick, which is insane. And they need to come away with at least one, if not two, veteran receivers.
Give me your prediction. I'm gonna put you on now. The first player the Jets come to term with is who?
I'm gonna say, I think they sign Fields. I think they're gonna end up with Justin Fields. I really do.
You think that's first? Because usually there's a pecking order to the quarterbacks, right? Usually it goes where's the first guy settle in, then it'll go down the line of the next team gets the quarterback. You know, there's usually there's depth to it. You know, Rodgers will go, and then Cousins. You know what I mean? And then it'll get down to Fields. Like people will settle on their quarterback and then move to the next one. So I'd be a little surprised if it's quarterback.
Rodgers to me is the key there. If he signs, then I think Fields, we get that shortly after.
And can I address my name getting brought up earlier or no? Briefly?
Could we just drop the Rob drama? I don't think anyone actually cares.
Okay. That's why I asked. I just didn't get into it.
But if you feel like you have to, Nick, you're a friend, so I trust you'll say something wisely here.
I don't know how to blame the committee or me personally when the outbursts and the anger that you had were with people that weren't your matchup.
That is a good point. To be fair, that is a fair point.
The matchup was with Weed. There was no controversy. There was no battle. There was no aggression. There was no cursing each other out with your matchup. It was with Chiefs fan and Bobby, who weren't your matchup.
Fair point.
I don't know how I get, or the committee will get blamed for that, but I don't get the logic. I just
want all of us to get along. Damn it, we're all Jet fans. That's Asmaniacs.
Agreed. But to call Bobby a traitor too when you admitted you didn't watch his show anymore because you didn't like the people who were on it, wouldn't that make you the traitor? You turned your back on Bobby.
We stand united. Tommy said it best.
Yeah, and like I said, there was no drama and aggression with the matchup. So it's just there's other issues going on there. But I was also on the grassy knoll when JFK was assassinated. I was in Butler, PA last summer. Everything can be blamed on me. I'm at fault. Thank you for having me on. Go Jets. You looked snazzy last night in the video in the tuxedo. Good job getting the video out right before the speech. And
it was legitimately 5 minutes before the speech too, which is hilarious.
You looked like you were looking like, am I getting called? Like during the video, you're like, all right, they're going to go to me now, aren't they? But great work as always. I'll be listening all day at work and try to chime in the chat when I can. And
call back after some big signings, Nick. If they sign someone, we'll get your thoughts.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do based on where I'm located today. But great work, and I'm looking forward to the stream all day, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Nick Shine. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel, Nick Shine Show. Ralphie is blaming Nick Shine for the stock market being down today. Thanks a lot, Nick. Look, Nick made some salient points there, but I'll say this about Rob from Glenhead. I think he's a good guy. I think when he opens his mouth, he talks himself into trouble. And I think we just need to move on from the results of Asmaniac Madness. Weed advances. It'll be Weed versus Cheats fan, and that's where the focus should be in that matchup now going forward. TH3 Entertainment says, any comp picks for the Jets losing Reddick/Kinlaw? I don't have the formula in front of me, but it's now going to be contingent on how much money the Jets spend themselves in free agency. So I don't have the answer to that. Kyle checks in. Looking at it differently, Jake. I see A-Rod to Pittsburgh in week 1. Jermaine Johnson takes his ass out when he gets his first sack back from injury. Hey, that's a much better script than the nightmare I have of Rodgers throwing 3 touchdowns and sticking it to the Jets opening night. So I hope that is the case. Not that I'm rooting for Rodgers to get hurt, but I hope the Jets just win. Well, come on. Even if you were anti-Rodgers, it's not the most Jet thing ever for him to come back and play the Jets and beat them. Come on. How many times are you going to see this, folks? Chad Pennington came back and stole the division against the Jets in 2008. Geno Smith eliminated the Jets from the playoffs 2 years ago. Sam Darnold got Robert Saleh fired in London this year. He didn't even play great that game, but you get the point. Like, whenever there's an opportunity for the Jets to play their old quarterback, they lose. They lose. So it just, I don't know, man. I'm not rooting for that, obviously. I'm just preparing myself for that. Kyle says, I wanted A-Rod back, but I believe our luck will change at some point. I hope so, man. I really do. It's been 14 years without the playoffs. How much longer can we take? YouTube user says, look on the bright side, 17 1 p.m. games. Not that one. If Rodgers is in Pittsburgh, they'll put the Jets in primetime week 1. Because it's week 1. You can put any team in week 1. There's intrigue. And you're going to put Rodgers on Monday night at MetLife against the Jets for the 3rd year in a row. Him on Monday Night Football to start the year. Makes too much sense. If you're ESPN, you're dying for that game. That will get a huge number. Cactus Johnny, please stop crying over a 42-year-old mercenary that won 5 games for us. Please understand that your comment is both ignorant and stupid, and I am, quite frankly, done dealing with it.
He stinks.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. You're fired. Suck it, truthers.
All right? He won 5 games. Here come the 5-game police. Ooh, 5 games. Ooh. Okay, so, right. Zach Wilson and Tim Boyer were better than Rodgers, right? Because they attributed to 7 wins in 2023. Should the Jets get rid of Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams? Because they were a part of a team that only won 5 games as well. Or is football more about a team sport? How many times did the Jets have the lead late this year where the defense blew it? I digress. Also, great Jets news here. Fantastic. Morgan Moses is going to the Patriots. Are you shitting me? What a joke. Morgan Moses is going to New England. That sucks. Who's going to play right tackle now? You know what I smell, folks? Smell the 4 wins. Smell it. 3 years, $24 million. Deal worth up to $28.5 million, according to Mike Garafolo. That's a really good signing by New England. That sucks. I mean, and it's probably not even a 3-year deal. It's probably like a 1 or 2 year deal. And we know how football contracts work. It's really an out after the 1st or 2nd year. That sucks. I'm really annoyed by this. Morgan Moses is a good player. Could have brought him back. Had the same 5 guys in the offense on the offensive line. This is going to be a bad day. I'm already pissed off. Rodgers going to end up at Pittsburgh. Morgan Moses just left there. I'm annoyed. Omari says, your best signings are both defense and offense. I mean, I would say Fields, if they can get him on offense, he's a quarterback. They need him. They need to sign Justin Fields today. There's nothing that's going to get this fan base excited if they sign any other quarterback. Nothing. I'm not even telling you guys Fields is great. There's at least a chance he could be good. There's no hope for this season being anything other than 4 or 5 wins if it's Carson Wentz and Tyrod Taylor. Unless they draft Cam Ward and do something bold like that, which feels unlikely. or Jackson Dart is the truth. Uno Jets, receive my Asmaniac hat. I love it. Uno, thanks for supporting the show, man. Appreciate you. Glad you like it. JakeAsman.com for anyone who wants merch. Michael says, how many of these ex-Jets will now go on to win a Super Bowl, including Saleh and Moses? Well, I mean, Saleh's in a good spot with the Niners, but Morgan Moses to the Patriots? Yeah, that sucks. I don't think he's going to win a Super Bowl this year, but he's going to make them better. Someone brought up Jedrick Wills earlier. I would maybe sign him to be the right tackle. Gator writes in, relax, Jets. Couldn't figure out how to make deals with Twitter down. It's back. We're good now. Also, where could I sign? Where could I get a Steelers jersey cheap? Big fella. Schefter reports he will not sign with the Steelers if they don't commit to him being QB1. Yeah, I mean, to me, it would make sense. Look, I think if Justin Fields was going to go back to Pittsburgh, he would have resigned by now. So I think the Jets are going to get him. They better at this point. Charlie says, you've always been a Rodgers fanboy and apologist. He's trash. Shut up. Hey, Charlie, kiss my ass, baby. Kiss it.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
I'm not actually banning him. I just put him in timeout for 5 minutes. But, I mean, come on, man. I want the Jets to keep the best quarterback to win games. He's going to sign with the Steelers. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? If Rodgers is so washed, if he's so terrible, why would a Hall of Fame coach want him? Explain that to me. Entanglement. Grady Jarrett alongside Quinn Williams. I don't hate that. What is the cost of Grady Jarrett? Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. Cut the line. We'll stay on a little while longer here. Then we'll wrap up our first show of the day. We're going to be back in the afternoon or after the Jets make a significant news. We'll go live as quickly as we can. But we're about an hour and a half into legal tampering. And to this point, the Jets have not made any big-time free agent signing, which is okay because most teams haven't. Honestly, the bigger story today has been the Rodgers to Steelers stuff because that impacts the Fields market for the Jets. And the other big thing as well that I would say is a huge story is what happened last night. Jets able to keep one of their own, Jamie and Sherwood. I think that's a huge signing. Huge re-signing. Joey Rod using his free Asmaniac super chat. Fields has never passed 4,000 yards, let alone 3,000. He's Tebow 2.0. We need a defensive tackle, good safeties, a wide receiver too, and a true tight end. I understand he's never passed for 4,000 yards or 3,000 yards. That doesn't mean, one, he can't. And that doesn't mean, two, that you still can't design an offense around the skill set he does have to be effective. Or that he can't get better once again. We got the sauce. Same Hall of Fame coach getting rid of Fields. Fields wildly inaccurate. Go for Sam or cheap Russell. You really think Sam Darnold would consider the Jets? He wants nothing to do with this organization. Nothing. He'll never come back here. Promise you that. Not happening. Not going to happen. I hope I'm wrong. If they sign Darnold, I'd be like, all right, great. It's not going to happen. I'm actually quite frankly surprised that Darnold hasn't formally signed with Seattle yet, because I'm telling you, Seattle doesn't trade away their starting quarterback in Geno if they don't know they're getting someone to replace him, which is not how it works. So I think they're negotiating it right now. I'm telling you. DJ Reed to the Lions, breaking news. So we knew DJ Reed would not be with the Jets. We didn't know where he'd end up. We now do. 3 years and a $48 million contract. Now, we don't know how much of it is guaranteed, but that is $16 million per year. So DJ Reed got paid. It's probably at least 2 years in guarantees. So I'd imagine DJ Reed just made himself around $32 million when it's all said and done. But DJ Reed now has signed with the Steelers. I mean, the Lions. Excuse me. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Show starting to wind down. Make sure you vote in ASMANIAC Madness. Right now, we have Neal cruising to an opening round victory over Indy Jets. He's up 70-30. We got a voting record today, but that's because we've had about 1,000 people watching the show the entire time with free agency here. So record turnouts at the poll. All right, couple calls left. Let's say hello to the 2 seed in the Butter region, Gary, who's next. Hey, Gary.
What's up, Jake? How was the wedding?
Wedding was a lot of fun.
Did you pull yourself a bridesmaid? You were the best man. Did you get yourself a bridesmaid?
Did I?
Did you? That's what the people want to know. You're the best man. You can even ask Dan. Dan will verify that.
Well, do I want to disclose this information to the people, though? That's the question.
I feel that you get a lot of people to admit to all types of stuff on this show. I mean, all types of stuff. You can let them know if you pulled yourself a bridesmaid.
I could, but will I let them know? That's the question.
I'm guessing you won't. Like, if I was to handicap this, I'd say the odds of you disclosing that is plus 750. I would say it's not likely.
Plus 750. Right. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so talking about odds, if you were to handicap this, what would you make the odds that the Jets sign Wilson? I mean, not Wilson, Fields. I'm sorry.
70%. I think they're going to sign him. I felt that way now. I felt pretty good about them signing him since I got back from the combine, as I said on the show.
This is so frustrating, right? Because Pittsburgh is a world-class organization. The Jets are a laughingstock. Do what people who are smarter than you do. Copy them. They said Rodgers is good enough for us. Fields isn't. We say the exact opposite. Who's going to be better next year? Like, you already know the answer. Like, Pittsburgh is telling you that Rodgers still has plenty left in the tank and Fields is not the one. So what do? We get rid of Rodgers and sign Fields. It's so frustrating, Jake. Like, they're telling you. They are showing their hand. We're a small organization. Rodgers good. Fields not the one. So we say, let's cut Rodgers and sign Fields. Jake, like, I'm just tired of this, man. Like, it might not be a full win season, but it ain't going to be a winning season either. Like, it's so frustrating. Like, I'm tired of talking about the draft on Halloween. Like, I'm tired of having no meaningful games to play in December and it just being like, it's Halloween, the season's over. I can't take this anymore. Like, I don't even hate Fields. Like, Fields isn't the worst option, but Pittsburgh is telling you Rodgers has plenty left in the tank.
Yeah, for 1 year, he's a better.
It's not like they're 100 times more talented than us. Like, it's not like they have some amazing roster and, like, they just need
great coaching. But that's the thing, right? Like, if Aaron Glenn is a Tomlin-level coach, this team could be a lot better than you or I think. But my issue with feeling that way is, what evidence do we have that the Jets got it right? You know, like, for the first time I coach, first time GM, first time play caller, you're downgrading at quarterback in all likelihood. So I'm skeptical. I hope I'm wrong. I'm not going to buy into the hype and hoopla like I had the last 2 years when I genuinely believed in this team. I have severe doubts right now, and hopefully they make some smart moves this offseason, and I feel a lot better by the time we get to week 1.
I want to switch it to some positive stuff. First, Jay Quest call.
All time.
this is the right time for him. He's going to be a problem now in the tournament. That call, I think, was better than his other. The amount of crap that he fit into like a 2-minute phone call. First of all, Chris McMonagle, that's his name. I haven't listened to the fan in years. Okay, Chris McMonagle tells on himself. He doesn't know who the quarterback of Arizona State is. Sam Levitt, he's really good. Like, he played in a lot of meaningful games this year, including the college football playoff. He doesn't know that Sam Levitt is the quarterback of Arizona State and that it's Dixon Hull who chased Jaden Daniels at ASU. And then Xavier head coach is legendary. He was the one that made him good in the early 2000s, then went to Arizona, went to a Final Four, and came back. So he thinks Big Chew, not Sean Miller, is the coach of Xavier. Like, he's just telling on himself. And then he says, yeah, well, we don't take Dixon Hall 7. We maybe take him later in the draft. So you haven't even looked at the quarterbacks that may go early in the draft or watched a single game of Arizona State football, who happened to play in the playoffs. Oh, by the way, like, it's just, he's telling on himself. Like, he doesn't know anything. Like, it's our boy Jay Quest that kind of exposed him. Like, did you watch this phone call? Like, how does he not know these? He lives in New York, Big East country. He doesn't know who the head coach of Xavier is. Like, it blows my mind.
Maybe he's not a college football fan. I don't know. I give all the credit to Jay Quest, though, because his ability to stay calm and not crack and be so just natural and convincing while spewing absolute nonsense is remarkable.
It's amazing. Like, I would lose it 30 seconds. Once he said that Xavier had a Big Chew as their head coach and Lane Train and Bobby Midnight, I would lose it. And I don't know how he keeps it together. When he did the last call last year with what was the Knoble, right? And he's a two-way player, and his brother was a 7th round pick. It's like, how do you not lose it? And then who is it? McPherson on the last call? It's like trying to look him up live speed. Like, how do you not lose it? Like, it's hysterical. I would laugh my ass off. Jay Quest, that's the call that he needed. Who's he got next round?
He's got Ted in the opening round.
I love Ted, but Ted, you got a hell of a matchup there. That's going to be tough to beat. He's in my region too, right?
He's in the butter region.
I gotta take this, Jake. I gotta Kid Melton down. I got a special Kid Melton. I gotta.
We hear it in the background, Gary.
I
It's all
gotta
good.
take this.
Go be a family man.
Yeah, I gotta go take this.
Gas station pizza is better than a Big Mac.
All right, there's almost 900 of you in here. For those tuning in late, we're doing another weekly raffle on the show. It's Sack Exchange themed. So if you want a chance to win a signed jersey by each member of the Sack Exchange or a signed helmet by each member of the New York Sack Exchange, then gift a membership to be entered. Or if you're watching on the phone and you can't gift and you want it on the raffle, a $20 super chat will get you 5 raffle entries. Show starting to wind down here. We'll be back when the Jets make moves or around the 4 p.m. hour today, 5 p.m. hour, depending on what's happening. Tommy, who got a membership gifted to him earlier, is gifting one back. Thank you, Tommy. We'll get you in the raffle. Rapid fire through some final couple calls here. Ladies and gentlemen, if Jay Quest advances in his matchup, he likely will play the 1 seed in the butter region. The 1 seed in the butter region is the man, the myth, the legend.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course.
Bob from Vermont.
I'm happy you had a great time at the wedding. You
Thanks,
do
Bob.
some dancing, too?
Oh, yeah. Tons of it.
You do YMCA? They have that?
No, but Shout was played, Bobby. Don't worry.
Oh, I like Shout. Yeah, I get
yeah.
that. Yeah, they're good things. He's about them. And what about the chicken song? Did they have that?
The chicken song. What's the chicken song?
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. They play it at Yankee Stadium. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. You know, they play it at Yankee Stadium. You ever hear it at Yankee Stadium?
I have, but that was not played at the wedding.
Okay, sometimes they do play at weddings. That's one of the good ones. So remember last year I did 3. I called it to 3 people. I called it to your friend. What was his name?
You called into Dan Grosso on ESPN New York. You called into Mark Malusis on WFAN.
Yeah,
and you called into Chris McMonagle you called into Keith McPherson on WFAN.
Yeah, my friend. Yeah. So I called 3 times. I mean, over 3 people. So. I'm ahead of Jake West a little bit. So
Also,
he got-
Roseanne says that was a beautiful rendition of the chicken dance, Bobby.
well, I thought that was the way I thought it was. That was in my head. But isn't Gary a good dad? Gary knew when it was time to leave. Gary's a good
I would say Gary is a very good dad. It's probably the best quality about Gary.
Yes, he is a very great dad. I mean, when he heard he had a problem, he went right off. He said that to me. So I got Neal winning this thing against Indy Jet because Indy Jet came into my channel the other day and said, all Bobby's panel today is Special Olympics, except weed and J Grave. So I
who said that?
Jersey Jet going against Neal. So Jersey Jet, I'm happy you're getting your ass whipped. Yeah, let's go, Neal.
Jersey Jet is not playing Neal. Indy Jets is playing Neal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, let's go,
You said
Neal.
Jersey Jet.
Oh, I meant Indy Jet. Sorry. Yeah,
Indy Jet said that. That's a very uncalled for comment, and that's a bad job by Indy Jets. You should know.
Yeah,
better.
goodbye. Yeah, goodbye. Let's go, Neal. Indy Jet, you're gonna lose. You got your ass wiped. Okay, I'm
That's
happy. I'm happy for you. Go. Stay in your garage. It's right. Get drunk off your ass. That's all.
Bobby laying down the law on Indy Jets.
Well, I had to get my comment to him because he called my panel Special Olympics except weed and Jane Graves. I was not too happy. Not very happy. But me and Jake Quest are friends. You know, if he wins, he wins. I'm going with Mikey Midnight, of course. You know, you're going for him too. He got it hands down.
Mikey.
He has to call him more often too.
And the key is, are we going to be able to see Mikey, or are we just going to
I
get a black
know
screen?
that. Oh man, yes, we got to help. He got to come over here too, because he might call in tomorrow, Wednesday morning show, because he has to work in the afternoon. He said because he can't. He's going the second show. He'll be working, so I told him to call in the morning show. All right.
All right, Bobby.
I don't think he needs any more. What's that called? You know, talking about himself, but everybody loves him. So, okay, well, stay tuned. I won't go live at all because I know you have a special day today. And do you think the Giants, what's that guy we picked up from the Saints? Is he?
They signed a corner from the Saints. He's a good player. He's a good signing.
Good, okay. And then what? You think we're gonna get Russell Wilson? He said.
I could see him signing there. Yeah.
Okay, and then I agree with you, Jake. Listen to Pittsburgh. You still have Aaron Rodgers doing good. You don't know what you have with, the other guys. So, I think you're right. The Jets are freaking up. They got rid of your one, Morgan Moses. You wanted to resign, right? And he went to the Patriots.
He did. All right, Bob. I got to run.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to get gonorrhea and kiss on the cheek. Yeah. Oh, I got gonorrhea. Oh, my God, I got gonorrhea. Kiss my cheek. Gonorrhea. You have to have sex to have gonorrhea.
It was a wild show on Saturday, for those who didn't see it. They're calling it a top 3 show of all time. That doesn't even include any of the clips of Charles Gorman and the random deli couple. There is a super chat that right now is false. Do not tell me that the Jets have signed Fields if they have not signed Fields. If it's not coming from someone credible, don't get got by a fake reporter. Doesn't mean they won't sign Fields, but they haven't to this point. I just checked. Now, we're going to wrap up the show shortly. So we're going to make these last couple as quick as we can, because we're going to be back probably sooner rather than later with free agency fully underway now. Ladies and gentlemen, to the shoe store we go.
The only thing better than all them shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Jake, my brother.
Mr. Bonesy.
What's up, buddy? Hold on, is my internet okay?
Your
Am I
internet's
good?
great. Go ahead.
All right. Well, just wanted to say I saw you looking snazzy last night. Wish you could have looked even better with some Alden shoes if I could have the factory make me your size, but they haven't sent me any leather in probably 10 months to a year.
Wow.
So, but you were looking good. And for all the people that want to know, I don't care if Jake gets mad at me. You know he was slaying last night. you know it. I don't want to be the one to spill the beans, but Jake was knocking him down. So you know my boy's got it like that. So that's my guy.
These are your words. I am not legally allowed to comment on anything.
Calm your freaky down.
Other than that, that's my official comment.
I know you're winding down quick. I just wanted to say this today could be the death of me if we sign Justin Fields. I know you're even open to it, but I am not. I don't know why where the belief comes from. He's a running quarterback who's never finished a season healthy. He's never passed for 2,500 yards. He was on a winning streak in a superior franchise who benched him for a washed-up quarterback. We get the worst version of every quarterback we ever bring in. And if you guys think when he throws for 175 yards through the first 2 weeks, we're not going to be booing when we do a bunch of 3-and-outs, you guys, I don't know, man. It's just Jets that will swap quarterbacks with a superior franchise and think that we won the deal. Yeah, we got Fields and they got Rodgers. They're the idiots. Like, yeah, okay, guys. And Cactus Johnny, please put your money where your mouth is. Once Rodgers signs, I will bet you whatever you want because you told me that I'm a Rodgers fangirl and that I'm not a Jets fan, right? Now, that is a complete load of bullshit. But still, though, I would love to make that bet. I'll bet whatever you want, with as much money as you want. I will make that bet because I would love to be wrong at first. And if you guys want to bet against Rodgers and think that we weren't the issue, I just don't know what we've been watching the last 15 years. I don't know if we're all watching the same team, but
it still could work with Fields, though. You're right. There's at least a chance. I honestly,
though,
well, because he does have talent. Like watch his college tape. He can throw.
He can run. He can run.
But he's got an arm. He needs the right offense, the right coordinator that could tap into his skill set. Look at Sam. Look at Baker.
If I'll concede to being an idiot if Tanner Angstrand wants Justin Fields to run his system, because I don't think we want to build an offense around Fields and then we have to draft someone who can kind of learn that same offense. We can't teach a rookie pocket passer the Fields offense because Fields has to run.
I think you're underestimating Fields' ability to throw from in the pocket under center. He took more snaps under center than like any other year in his career so far, and that's what Angstrand does. So they might see the ability of him to be a really good athlete, and they think with the good coaching, they could coach him up to be a better pocket passer.
I hope I'm dead wrong on this because Fields looks like a glorified Zach Wilson to me. And when I watch his games, he can't read defenses. He's holding on to the ball too long. I'm saying from a reading the defense's perspective, Fields is a deer in headlights. He freezes. He does not process fast enough. He bails on the play too quick. I'm not a fan of Fields. He can run. If he stays healthy, he could be like our Roger Griffin Jr. type that you need to be able to run to be effective. That I'll concede. The guy can run. But we, as fans, we boo so fast. So unless we're winning games like the Steelers did 16-13 and out coaching other teams, I don't know. I don't see the Fields love, but I guess it's me, because a lot of people want to give him a chance, and I just don't want to go down there.
He's young. That's why he's 25, former first-round pick. It's like Sam and Baker. You didn't see either of that coming either. You never know. That's the hope. Do I think it's going to work? No. I would have kept Aaron Rodgers. You know my thoughts on that. We agree with a lot of that. But I'll take Justin Fields over Carson Wentz or Marcus Mariota, who are apparently the other names that go.
Yeah, those two guys, yes. But I'll take Kirk Cousins or Derek Carr, or I would even take Winston in a heartbeat over him because at least Winston's a pocket passer who's going to throw the ball, and that's more exciting to me than hoping someone doesn't get hurt.
Nick Shine says, Bonesy, the Steelers win with or without Rodgers. However, what if Rodgers ruins their win streak? Will you say the Jets got it right?
Yes, I would love to be wrong. I am not someone who cares about like, oh, well, I said it 3 months ago on Jake Aston show. Like, dog me. I hope I'm dead wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Like, and then yeah, Cactus Johnny and people be like, oh, your takes are always wrong because you back Joe Douglas. It's just no. Joe Douglas is just much better than people and give him credit for besides the record. Just like our players are getting paid, and we just re-signed his 3rd-round development player, and we have players like Quincy Williams that we might have to sign, and we have building blocks like Sauce, and I don't even want to go down the Joe Douglas thing, but anyway. Oh, last thing, Jay Quest. I mean, it doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better. When he said the forget the Bonesy Brothers line, when he said Rick Kent from Brick Estate.
Amazing. Amazing. There's so many. I'm going to play it again at the end here. It's so good. For those who missed it, Jay Quest prank called the shit out of Chris McMonagle, who does the overnight show on WFAN with nothing but nonstop references to this YouTube show. So I'll play it at the end here. Bonesy, you're the man. Appreciate you calling.
Love you guys. Love you, Jake.
The only thing better than all these shoes is sexy Rexy, because he also loves feet. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody, and man, these Jets are depressing.
Real quick, Jersey Jet, let it rip.
Yeah, it's weird to me how Bonesy could cling on to stuff like that. Trips me out. Anyway, I'm really calling for Bobby. I'm sitting here representing his brother, and he's gonna attack me, and he ain't even apologize. I know he got it wrong. I mean, I know it was intentional, but he was slamming me for a second. I still feel it. Apologize, Bobby, please and thank you.
Fair.
JTS, Jets, and oh yeah, Big Ten tournament this week. Let's go. RUTGERS, rah.
I love
and congratulations to all of them Jersey Asmaniacs in the tournament. They doing their thing.
Jersey Jet, great call, man. Love the Mikey suspenders.
Hello, I'm Mikey. I'm Bobby's little bro. Have you seen Jake Graves? She's so beautiful. I love my boy Jake, but not in a gay way. I am so happy. I'm not gonna touch anything, I promise.
Mikey.
Hey, how you doing?
Mikey, I can't see you, but I hear you.
Okay, Justin Fields are going to sign today. I think so. Bart is going to Pittsburgh, and the Jets go sack him a lot. Yeah.
I hope that the Jets sign Justin Fields because I know it'll make you happy.
Yeah, I like Justin Fields because his brother plays for the same team with the Jets. Gavin Wilson, right?
His homeboy.
Yeah, his homeboy from the Alabama. Yeah, and then I think I had to. I worked Wednesday at 4:00, but I can't be in a tournament, I guess.
Don't worry, Mikey. Your calls are well represented, and people know what you bring to the table. So if you can't make it that day, I don't think it's going to hurt you at all.
Yeah, that's true. But I want to do something. I'm ready for the ride. Everybody's going to hide on Jake Asman show because Mikey knows he could win. He knows I could win all the way because I'm the best. I'm the true Jet fan.
Mikey taking on Dre in the 5-12 to start the tournament. Mikey, you're the man. Great call.
Yeah, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Mikey Midnight. Bobby, apologize to Jersey Jet, then I got to wrap the show.
Okay, well, Jersey Jet, I'm sorry for confusing you with it. Dumb old man, I'm sorry. You're a great guy. You remind me of a comedian. You're a great guy. Indy Jet is in his garage drinking and getting drunk, okay? So you're a great guy, Indy. I'm sorry, Jersey Jet. You're great.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bobby Midnight, a true gentleman, apologizing for confusing Jersey Jet with Indy Jet, which, if we take a step back, it's an understandable mistake. We've all made mistakes.
No, just Jet. They got me. Yeah. Indy.
Bobby, don't worry. Great job. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a show. We're back after the Jets make a big move or in a few hours to continue our free agency coverage. That's almost a 2.5-hour show. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, before we get out of here, it is time to close the poll voting because with 70% of the vote and a record over 1,000 total votes that have been cast, it is the number 3 seed in the Hood region, Neal, defeating the number 14 seed, Indy Jets. 1,055 is the vote total. Keep a record of that so we could find out which matchup will get the record amount of votes. I'm going to put the official result on the screen so everyone who couldn't see the poll, if they're not watching this live, could see it on the record exactly what it looked like. Neal 70, Indy 29. It was 1,055, even though YouTube is only saying 1K votes. They don't give me the exact. And for those wondering, how is it 70 to 29? That doesn't add up to 100. YouTube doesn't show me the decimal points. But Neal with a convincing win. It will be Neal versus Leany now in the next round, the round of 32. We're back this afternoon or maybe even sooner for the PBM versus Nick T battle. On that note, hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Join the Patreon if you want to get notified when I'm going live. If you want access to our Discord, bonus shows, name in the intro, and if you sign up for the year, you get 10 raffle entries. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show, and as promised, I present to you the latest masterpiece from listener Jake Quest, pranking one of the 2 sports radio stations in this city.
Reed in Brattleboro. What's up, Reed?
Hey, Chris. How are you?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I've been better. Having a hard time sleeping since I moved out here from Glen Oaks.
Oh, yeah?
But
I know all about having trouble sleeping, buddy.
I was calling about the Jets, but I actually had a basketball point, too, real quick, if you don't mind, about St. John. So before the season started, I made a friendly wager with my friend who's a Chiefs fan. His team is Xavier. He's a big Xavier fan.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, yeah, Xavier's going to win the Big East this year. Put your money where your mouth is. So we bet $1,000 on that. Not the regular season, the Big East tournament. And he's got Xavier, coached by Big Cho. They got Lane Kerner, Charles Gorman, Bobby Midnight. But they're a good team, but I think the Johnny's got them. I'm hoping. Who knows?
Yeah, well, you're hoping they get picked off on Thursday against Xavier.
Yeah, in regards to the Jets point, we need a quarterback. I get it. We've been there, quarterback hell forever and whatnot. I know a couple nights ago you were saying you would pick Sanders, I think.
Yes, if Sanders is there at 7, I would take him, yes.
I don't know. Cam Ward, 100%, I would take him. But what about this kid from Arizona State, Dixon Hole? His receivers with the Bonesy brothers, Joe and Anthony. And Jaden Daniels left LSU at Arizona State because this kid was outperforming him. The only problem is he's like an 8th-year senior because of that whole COVID thing. So he's like almost like a Chris Winkie type guy or like Rick Kent from Brigham State. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have real strong opinions on him. I'll be totally honest with you. I haven't broke down the film, but I'm not going to take him 7. You want to take him later? You want to take any one of these quarterbacks. It doesn't have to be him. It could be whoever you want.
The 27th pick in the NFL draft, the New York Jets select Dixon Hole out of Arizona State. What am I, a mind reader?